closures and delays and all this stuff. It's just a black ice threat, and it's only where snow is on the ground. So for Atlanta, downtown, smooth sailing. We don't have snow on the ground here. 43 for Tuesday, 52 on Wednesday with overnight low temperatures. Another shot of some cooler air in the mid-20s there before we get towards 58 there on Saturday. Coming up here in about 20 minutes today, we're going to take another look at Fox 5 Live Viper and track that back edge of the snow moving out over the next few minutes.
Alex, thank you so much for giving us this look. Like I said, I know you've been working really hard to keep us up to date, also to keep us safe. So we really appreciate it. I want to just say that on behalf of our viewers, and I know you're going to keep us updated. So yes, in about 20 or so minutes, we will get right back out to you. All right, you guys, again, that snow has really been coming down. Our team, we've been having full team coverage, trying to chase the snow across South Georgia and the metro Atlanta area. I want to get right out to our Eli Jordan, who's on standby. Eli, it looks perfect behind you. That's the kind of snow you play in. Where exactly have you ended up at this point in time?
Hey, I am just off of I-75 at the Johnstonville Road exit, just about 7 miles north of Forsyth, and it is a winter wonderland down here. The roads are fine. The road's fine. I had no I-75, just, you know, a little bit wet, but mainly dry, no problems. Except when you come to bridges, there's a little bit of puddles right before the bridges. And also, just be aware when you're going across bridges, they can always freeze, you know, before, or, you know, they can freeze, and no freezing on roads, but bridges can freeze real easily. But there's no problems at all out here. But check this out. It is a winter wonderland here. I mean, it's stuck to the trees. It is on the signs. And as you can see, the roads are just fine. But there's a nice little measurement, you know, nice amount of snow. You can make some snowballs with it and play around. So, yeah, we might see some snowmen down here, but I'm going to ease on down to Forsyth and see what it's like. And it's not too far away, but it's a real pretty drive down here, and it's like a winter wonderland. You can see it down Johnstonville Road here. The snow is on the trees, and it's a very wintry sight down here, just north of Forsyth along Johnstonville Road, and the temperature is right at 32 degrees. And so this will probably begin to melt off and become kind of gross looking after, you know, when this later on in the day, once it begins to melt. Melting snow always kind of is not always a pleasant sight to see. It's all dripping and you see all the mud and stuff, but right now it is a beautiful sight here along central Georgia, heading towards Forsyth along I-75, but the interstate is fine, the roads are fine, but when you get off the roads, you can see the trees and the grass. It's just real pretty, but no driving problems. But I'm sure some kids are going to have some fun when they can go sledding or make a snowman or have a snowball fight. Maybe I'll go down there and give them an opportunity to throw a snowball at a camera guy. So that's the scene here along I-75, about 7 miles north of Forsyth along Johnstonville Road. Judea, back to you.
Eli, again, I love to see it, especially the trees. It's so pretty. As long as everybody's staying safe, I don't see anything wrong with this weather. Now, we do know that winter weather advisory should still be in effect until 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you are not in the Georgia area and you're wondering, you know, why are they so hyped up about this snow? It's because we don't get it very often here in the South, especially here in Georgia. So when we do get it, everybody gets excited. Even though there isn't going to be a snow day per se, we're on the weekend, and of course tomorrow is Martin Luther King Jr. Day, so a federal holiday. It is still cool to see this out there. I have a feeling we're going to see some more children, especially around Piedmont Park. So our eyes will be peeled again for your videos and for your pictures. Again, that winter weather advisory is supposed to be in effect until 1 p.m. But our storm team has been taking a look at the models. We're expecting that we might not see more snowfall after 11 a.m. So again, we'll keep our eyes peeled. Make sure that you are paying attention to Fox5Atlanta.com and the Fox Local app and the Fox 5 Storm Team app. That is the best way to stay updated as we continue our coverage throughout the morning. All right, I want to get back to you with some of those some of those pictures, those videos that we have been getting in from our viewers. Let's start with this snow from Pike County, if we can pull that one up for you guys. Again, if you have some videos or some pictures to share with us, you can send them into newstipsatlanta@fox.com, or or you can submit them on the Fox 5 Storm Team app. But again, this one is coming from Pike County. Mark Blackstock sent us this photo from Elena. You can see the snow is starting to accumulate on his deck, and so that's what we've been paying attention to. Even out there with Eli, we're looking for those raised surfaces where maybe snow might not be sticking on the ground, but maybe sticking on some of your furniture and everything out there. So thanks for sending in this photo, Mark. All right, we got another one from Meriwether County. Jeff and Julie also showing us their deck. You know, this was early in the morning. No one was trying to set foot outside. It is so cold out there, you guys. But this photo is from Woodbury in Meriwether County. You can see the snow sticking to their back deck, and they have a furry friend. Let me put down my banner so you can see it. A furry little friend excited about the snow, assumingly excited watching it fall down. I would love to see videos and pictures of your little fur baby playing in the snow if anybody wants to send something like that in. Now, really, this all started because we saw some snow coming down across the state line over in Alabama. We have a picture from Pelly City, some video of snow really starting to come down. This video came from George Weaver. Again, you can see that snow coming down heavily out there in Alabama. It was sticking and accumulating, and that gave us the telltale sign that we were going to start seeing snow in our area shortly after. Of course, we did. So while we're taking a look at how the snow has been picking up around town, I want to head out to one of our photojournalists, our reporter, Ray Llerena, who has been keeping up with the snowfall. I believe he's in Putnam County. Let's head out to him. Ray, the snow really came down for you in your area, which was pretty exciting as we're chasing snow across South Georgia. What has it been like as you've been keeping up for Good Day Atlanta?
Maybe it is. I don't know.
Progression, Judea. At 5:30 in the afternoon, we started seeing some rain out there, and then it progressed to a wintry mix at about 7 o'clock in the morning to full-on snowstorm at 7:30 onwards. I just want to show you around to where we are seeing right now in downtown Edenton. You can see that all that snow that I have mentioned is starting to accumulate on anything it can find. It's accumulating on the sidewalk, it's accumulating on some of the street signs, on the trees, and of course the magistrate building over there on the right hand side. Typical winter wonderland stuff that we are seeing out here in Edenton. And we did speak to a few people earlier today. One woman actually drove by us not too long ago, and she said, and she was yelling at us, "It's snowing, it's snowing." So there's so much excitement when it comes to the snow here in Edenton, and you can see where Stephen Herron is right now. You can see a little bit of the difference between what's covered with snow and what's not. And not too long ago, we actually did see some children playing in the snow. It looks like they were just outside their apartment complex, and they were building a snowman and snow forts. They were getting as much snow as they can in their hands and smashing on the ground. So just an overall good time here in Edenton.
Cute, and I love that you've gotten to see it. It's so interesting to me too. As I was watching our coverage this morning, it seemed like all of our live shots, the snow stopped all around the same time, and then your shot was the only one where the snow kept coming down heavily. Any indication on when that could potentially stop, or if we're going to see it throughout the rest of the morning?
Well, Judea, according to the Fox 5 Storm Team app that I've been checking throughout the day, it looked like this was going to stop at about 10 o'clock this morning, according to that prediction model. But like Alex has been saying throughout the morning, that most of this should be up and out of here by 11 a.m. And that might be proven the case here in Edenton. Now, this is still under a winter weather advisory until 1 o'clock, but I wouldn't be surprised until that if we do see like at least an inch of snow here in Edenton and Putnam County area.
Yeah, it would be interesting, and that would definitely be the place for it. Like I said, as I keep seeing the snow coming down as you're talking to me, I just want to shout out some of our live viewers on YouTube. You guys have already hit the chat, and I really appreciate it. This is an interactive conversation. Some people saying it's snowing in the Grove right now. I consider that Locust Grove that they're probably talking about. Someone said, "Is it going to snow in Georgia, baby?" It already is. It already is. Depends on what part of Georgia you're talking about. Someone else said, "Is anybody seeing snow north of Locust Grove, of course, we're going to check back in with our Fox 5 Storm Team meteorologist, Alex Forbes, to have a better idea of that for you guys. And then last but not least, lovely Brett said, I just want snow so I don't have to go to school. Yesterday, I was asking the question for you because, again, we know that it's the weekend. Tomorrow is Martin Luther King Jr. Day. Tuesday is the day that you're going to want to be looking toward. As far as I know, I don't believe snow is in the forecast, but, you know, I'm not the meteorologist. I will ask our expert when we get back out to our Alex Forbes. Keeping up with this snow tracking, I want to get right out to Mark Teichner. He has been tracking snow for us as well across Good Day Atlanta, now joining us here on Fox 5 News Live. Where did you find yourself at this morning, Mark?
Yeah, you know, a totally different situation here than what you just saw from Ray. I'm going to step out. This is the Covington Square, and really the only sign of winter storms that we've got here is the Christmas music that they're still piping in from the speakers. That's because we really didn't get not even a whole lot of snow. We got really no snow here in Covington. You know, at about 6:15, we did see some flurries, and it flurried for about an hour, and it looked for a while like maybe it would start to stick just a little bit, but that never happened. And by about 7:15, everything just tapered off. It's still pretty cold out here, a low to mid 30s, but unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on where you look at it, absolutely nothing coming down from the sky. That is not the case, though, not too far from here. In fact, we ran into a woman who lives in Newborn. That's in Morgan County. It's only 12 miles from where we are standing right now. She actually pulled up and her car was covered with snow. She said that she was heading to church and she was surprised by how much snow there was. She even put her car into four-wheel drive to make sure she could get out. And then she said she got here to Covington and it was like a completely different world. Had a lot of snow in your car.
I did. It was coming down really good before sunrise, and then it just sort of, it was still coming down when I left the house, but I put the car in four-wheel drive and came on to church. And when I got to Covington, there's nothing here.
Were you surprised at how dramatic the difference is? Tell me about that.
Because, well, they were talking about the defining line last night on the weather, and I was thinking, well, we're just right on the line, but it's very, very definitive. Because there was snow at the house, and I live 15 miles away, and now there's nothing here.
Pretty amazing.
Pretty amazing.
And how much do you think you guys got there?
Oh, I mean, the ground was covered, so a trace, maybe a little more than a trace. I don't know, but definitely more than here.
Yeah, definitely more than here. That says it all. As far as the weather is concerned right now, we can actually see a little bit of sun that's peeking out off the other side of our camera. So it really does look like Covington dodged a bullet if you look at it that way, or missed out if you look at it the other way. Reporting live from Covington, I'm Mark Teichner for Live Now from Fox.
Mark, thank you so much for a live look from you as well. Again, it's so interesting seeing just how quickly the weather can change. You guys are asking on TikTok, where are we at right now? So I just want to go through the live shots that you just saw. We started out with our Eli Jordan. I believe he was on I-75 headed toward Forsyth. So again, we're in South Georgia. And then we were out with our Ray Yarena, who was covering Putnam County. And then you just saw our Mark Teichner covering the weather from Covington. So those are the three areas that we have touched on so far. Our meteorologist Alex Forbes is able to see the maps over all of Georgia. So if you want a better look or some more insight on if snow will hit your area, when snow could stop, if there's a chance for black ice where you live, your best bet is to make sure that you are watching us at the top of every hour and the 30-minute mark of every hour, because that's when we'll be checking back in with our expert in the house, Alex Forbes. All right, you guys, still ahead, I do have to get you your top news of the day. There are still some big things happening around the metro Atlanta area that have nothing to do with the snow. So we'll get into a wreck on I-20 in which we know someone has died. We'll also talk to you a little bit more about Real ID. What's going to happen next time you get to the airport? Will you have to cough up some cash? All of that and more when we come back. Hey guys, welcome back to Fox 5 News Live. I'm Judea Murray. We've got a lot of news, local news to talk to you about. I want to start with a fatal wreck that we heard about on I-20 on the interstate. In the eastbound lanes, we learned that there was an accident. Unfortunately, we don't have much more information than that. We do know that according to law enforcement officers, someone lost their lives during this wreck. All lanes were shut down on eastbound at Evans Mill Road. The roadway was supposed to remain closed. I do want to let you know I tried to check GDOT, the Georgia Department of Transportation. They have live cameras all over the roads here, you guys. I tried to check before we went on air. That camera in this particular area was down. So right now, the only information that I have for you is that on the interstate, there was an incident that resulted in a wreck, and unfortunately, someone lost their lives in that wreck. We don't have any information on who that person was, who else was involved in this crash, or whether it was a one vehicle wreck, but that is what I have for you there on that. We will definitely keep you up to date on what's happening out there. I want to talk to you now about a superintendent from DeKalb County. He was a former superintendent who is not only, not in his role anymore, but has also recently been arrested for assault and child cruelty. But this isn't his first run-in with the law. So former DeKalb Superintendent Devon Horton was arrested yesterday on felony assault and child cruelty charges. This arrest is separate from the 17-count indictment that he is currently facing in Illinois. That is regarding an alleged kickback and embezzlement scheme. So here's what we know about this current case. Devon Horton was arrested just yesterday. He was booked into the DeKalb County Jail. He's facing charges of third-degree cruelty to children and first-degree assault. He was arrested by the DeKalb County Police Department. We have reached out to the police department to see if we can get any more information. So far, we haven't heard much just yet, but we do know that Horton resigned from his position late last year after being indicted on federal charges tied to his previous tenure leading Evanston and Skokie School District 65 in Illinois. That is where he came from before he went for the job here in Georgia. And, I was a reporter on the digital team at that time. I do remember we had gotten quite a few complaints from parents. There were so many hearings and whatnot. There was also some excitement around him taking up his job. So when that news broke, there was a lot of commentary on our social media pages, and I'm sure there will be some after this one. Now, we did get a statement from a district spokesperson who said, the DeKalb County School District is aware of the reported arrest of former Superintendent Dr. Devon Horton, which stems from an alleged incident not related to the school district, not related to DeKalb County, of course. As this is an active legal matter with law enforcement, the district has no further information to share and will not be making additional statements. The safety and well-being of our students and staff remain our highest priority. Now, again, when he went for that job, that search for superintendent here in DeKalb County, it concluded on April 2023. We know that Horton was the sole finalist. There were a lot of people who had something negative to say, but there were also a lot of people who were excited for him to start this role. Just 2 weeks later, the board voted 6-1 to approve his contract, ending months of uncertainty and sparking new controversy. That decision came after a couple of heated public forums, kind of what I was telling you about, in which we heard from parents and educators who were raising some questions about his leadership record. And they also pointed out the 2021 federal lawsuit from Illinois district that accused officials of promoting race-based programming. Former DeKalb County School Board member Dr. Joyce Morley told us in December that the board was aware of previous bankruptcies and an ongoing criminal investigation into Evanston before hiring Horton. They did decide to continue with him anyway. And I quote, she says, the board already knew. We had an anonymous package sent to us last year, August 2024, that showed about 14 indictments that they were suggesting. So now he's facing these charges here in DeKalb County, and of course there will be a lot of eyes on this case. I do also want to put out there that everyone should be considered innocent until proven guilty in the court of law. So while I'm giving you the facts here, you can decide what you want to believe, but we are considering him innocent until otherwise proven guilty in a court of law. So some silent protesters held a vigil here in Atlanta. They're honoring the life of the young woman who was killed by an ICE agent in Minneapolis, Minnesota. This silent vigil happened at Freedom Park just yesterday. It was to protest the ICE shooting of Renee Good. You've probably heard her name. You've probably seen that viral video that has gone around showing an ICE agent firing his weapon into her vehicle. Of course, we've heard from the Trump administration and other law enforcement officers and other officials across the country who say that they believe Renee was using her vehicle as a weapon in order to run that officer over, and so he retaliated in self-defense. But we have also heard from a lot of advocates, from a lot of people on the grounds, that they believe that this was a senseless killing at the hands of ICE. So this event followed a Quaker-style worship format. It focused on peaceful reflection rather than the traditional marching that you tend to see when it comes to protests. It remained peaceful, which contrasted with some more volatile demonstrations that we have seen across the country. I remember just earlier this week, I was producing a show in which we had a live reporter from Fox News based in Minneapolis, Minnesota. We saw tear gas, we saw flashbangs, we heard screaming behind her. This was completely different than what we have seen across the country. Dozens of people participated in this particular protest, and I have a feeling we're going to see some more demonstrations across the country as the days continue. A lot of people are obviously not over what happened there, and so they're keeping their eyes on what's to come, and they want to hold ICE and the Trump administration hold them accountable for what happened. Last but not least, if you have a trip planned at the airport, you need to know this. If you don't have a real ID by February 1st, any travel thereafter, you will have to pay $45. And I know a lot of you guys are not interested in doing this. Rules have changed. Here's what you need to know, because again, it could potentially cost you some money. TSA says that if you show up at the airport without a real ID or another acceptable form of ID, it's going to cost you that $45. Real ID is a more secure version of your driver's license or your state ID. The difference between a regular state ID and a real ID, you'll notice there is a star, kind of like not a sticker, a star logo on your real ID. It came from a 9/11 commission recommendation that was signed into law back in 2005. But of course, there have been multiple delays in terms of getting it to be fully in effect. However, as of February 1st, guys, we are there. Now, again, here's why you should care, because starting on February 1st, if you don't have that real ID, a passport, any other approved ID, you're going to have to use TSA's new system called Confirm ID. And that's going to cost you $45, but just for a 10-day travel window, plus some extra wait time. So that means if you have any travel planned, let's say a month after that first trip, you're going to have to do this again. So you may as well go ahead and get your real ID. You can pay that $45 online before your trip or at most airport checkpoints, but you should expect delays either way it goes. So if you want to avoid all of it, here's what counts as an acceptable form of ID. That real ID, a passport or passport card, global entry or other trusted traveler cards, DoD IDs, permanent resident cards, tribal IDs, foreign passports, and then there are a couple of more. You can find them out on the government's official website. But the easiest check of all, again, look at your driver's license, because you may already have a real ID and you don't know it. If you have that star or the special symbol in your top corner, you're good. If you're a Georgia driver with a valid license, you also have nothing to worry about, because we have already had that provided for us. Remember, a valid license though in the state of Georgia. So the bottom line is, check your ID now so that you don't have to pay extra money, you don't get stuck in longer lines. You can find out more details. Of course, we have a web article about this on fox5atlanta.com. You could also find some more information on Fox Local. All right, I want to take a deep dive into a story that I know we have been covering for the last couple of days. I believe we have some video to share with you. You have probably, at this point in time, this man that you're seeing on your screen, and you've probably seen this video. It has gone absolutely viral, showing a man in what appeared to be a racially charged tirade. It prompted some questions, though, about the First Amendment, because in that video, that man could be heard using the N-word. He actually, I believe, used it twice. He also used some other sensitive language. There were children present, and it appeared that he was threatening a security guard and maybe some other people who were in the area. Well, that man was arrested. This all taking place outside of a Social Security office. Police say that the reason he was arrested and why, it wasn't what he said wasn't protected under the First Amendment, freedom of speech, is because what he said was considered fighting words that entice violence. That type of language is not protected by First Amendment free speech rights. I want to let you listen in to Corporal Angela Carter, who explained that to everyone.
There are exceptions to the First Amendment. Those include fighting words. So basically, you can't make statements face-to-face to someone that may entice violence in that moment. There were other individuals on the scene that potentially could have been victims of the crime of simple assault, but they chose not to prosecute.
So you heard there were some other people who were on site who actually, if they wanted to, could have prompted to file charges against him. They just chose not to. But let's take a deep dive into what the First Amendment actually is, because like I said, it prompted a lot of questions from you guys in our live chat there on TikTok, on YouTube. Today we're also streaming on Instagram and Facebook. So hey, you guys, make sure that if you have any questions, any commentary, if you want me to touch on a story that I don't have in my current lineup, just write it out in the comment section and I'll try to get right out to you, especially when we talk about weather again. But real quick, the First Amendment is in the U.S. Constitution. It states that Congress shall make no law abridging the freedom of speech or of the press, or the right of people peaceably to assembly, or to petition the government for a redress of grievances. It protects 5 core freedoms: freedom of speech, freedom of the press, freedom of religion, right to peaceably assemble, right to petition the government. You guys probably all learned this basic information in elementary school. The First Amendment is very important because it ensures free flow of ideas. You're able to say what it is that you want to say without much retribution, without many consequences. But it is not foolproof. So let's get into what is protected speech. And I'll take a deeper dive into this a little later on because I'm actually taking a look and we don't have a lot of time, you guys. So broadly speaking, here's what's protected: political, social, religious speech. You can criticize public officials if you'd like to. You don't like how somebody's running something, you're allowed to say that. Symbolic speech, so even flag burning. I know a lot of you guys get upset about that. Technically, it's protected speech. Satire, parody, mockery, if you're making fun of somebody, technically you can do all of that. There are a couple of other things that are protected too. But here's what's not protected and why this conversation is so important. Obscenities, child pornography, incitement to lawless actions, true threats, defamation, or quote-unquote fighting words, which is what they're alleging that Robert Burke, the 65-year-old man who's facing charges in that viral video that you keep seeing everywhere, that is what they were saying was wrong with what happened there. But I also want to point out that Robert Burke wasn't arrested because he used foul language. He wasn't arrested because he used the N-word. The charge that he is facing, you guys, is basically public indecency or disorderly conduct in public. And that can really be put into place when a person commits the offense of disorderly conduct by acting in a violent way toward another person who has a reasonable fear of their own safety, health, their limbs. Someone who acts violently toward another person in a way that they feel puts themselves in danger or their property in danger of being damaged or even destroyed. There are a couple of other things that fall under this too. Again, we'll take a deeper dive into it because I see we don't have much time left. Want to get back out to you with a little more talk about our weather forecast, what you can expect in terms of snowfall. A lot of people are getting excited as they saw that snow coming down, especially around south of Georgia. But I want to know how that may or may not affect Metro Atlanta. We'll have more on all of this when we come back. guys, welcome back to Fox 5 News Live. I'm Judea Murray. Again, we're getting back into the snow talk. I want to get right out to our meteorologist, Alex Forbes, who's been on standby. Alex, it has been a very busy morning for you. You have been hard at work. Where are we seeing snow falling at this point in time?
All right, Judea, Baldwin High School, one of the spots right now where the snow is still coming down. This is in Milledgeville in Baldwin County. This is the emergency management camera. In fact, we just got these cameras like last week from Cyclone Port, so the first time we're able to use them, and we're bringing them in with a winter storm right now. So I've got my laptop here, and I want to bounce around a couple of cameras. So that's Milledgeville. Let me take you over to Forsyth. We've been using this camera a lot this morning. This is I-75. You see the snow on the ground. Look at the roads. They look decently okay right now. And here's the thing. Anything that's wet will have the chance to evaporate later on this afternoon as the sun begins to come out. Want to take you down into the Macon area. This is going to be downtown Macon. In fact, this exact camera is from the last station I used to work at here. And this is, wait for it. Maybe it's coming. I hit the play. Let's see. Hit it one more time. We still are losing the skyline a bit at this moment in the Macon area. There it is, because it's still snowing, right? So you're looking off towards the Fickling building and over towards the Ocmulgee River. It's just on the other side of this building line as you look at, I mean, look at this. Look at the snow blowing. Yeah, that's quite the shot. Not every day you see something like this here in the Macon area. Okay, want to take you over to Thomaston. This is going to be just outside of the Augusta area now. So this is on I-20. And as we look at this, you see the snow falling on the square there. See the flag is not moving, so we're not really looking at much of a wind there in Thomaston. And I'm curious now to see if we're seeing any snow in the Augusta area. Let me see if I can pull up a camera here, right? Because that's going to be kind of close now. This is from the Augusta Marriott on the Savannah River. Are we seeing snow? Are we seeing snow? Yes, there you go. So you're starting to see some snow there in the Augusta area. There's Georgia. There is South Carolina. I believe that 520 bridge is right down there, just down from the Marriott. So that's the lay of the land right now. Take you down towards the Georgia National Fairgrounds in Perry. All right, not every day you see snow here. This is Perry, Georgia now, and it is coming down at a pretty good clip. So there's your Georgia camera tour for you here as we close in on the 10 o'clock hour. The back edge of the snow is now into, say, Bibb County, right? So there is Bolingbroke in Monroe County. The snow coming to an end in Forsyth right now, coming to an end in Monticello. Pull this up in towards Eatonton. Still a couple flurries, but coming to an end rather quickly. And look at this. You've seen some moisture in the last little bit in parts of Clark and in towards Oglethorpe County. I've seen a lot of pictures come out of those areas, so we're watching the snow really advance out of the state of Georgia. So skies clearing here into the morning hours. In fact, this is a brand new run of this computer forecast model. You see by 11 a.m. that back edge of the snow is through the Augusta area, and the skies begin to clear here in metro Atlanta and North Georgia. By the time we get towards the afternoon, plenty of sun to go around, but any spots that still have liquid on the ground later on this evening, a refreeze will be possible. Looking for 45 on Martin Luther King Day, 43 there for Tuesday, so another surge of some Arctic air that will send overnight low temperatures into the mid-20s. Judea?
Thank you so much for getting us more information about what's happening out there, Alex. A lot of people in our chat are really excited when you go over the different areas, especially when you show the live pictures. Yes, exactly. It's really coming down out there. I want to check in too, because we do have a full team coverage on the snow across South Georgia. We are chasing the snow, actually. Want to get right out to our Eli Jordan. Eli, I'm sorry, I'm laughing because you've got your cowboy hat on, and it really feels like you're wrangling in the snow for us this morning. Where have you found yourself?
Hey, it's a snowfari. So yeah, I am in Forsyth. It is no longer snowing here, but they got a decent amount of snow. It's real pretty up here, but the roads, they're clear. There might be a little bit of slush here and there, you know, between some tire tracks, but really the roads are just passable as they could be. But check it out. I'm at the county seat here, Monroe County seat, the courthouse, and I pulled up, there was a snowman in the front of the courthouse here, but as I was waiting for the live shot, I guess temperature melted and it fell over. It got sad, and it's a sad sight. I found the one
sad
so far, and it fell over. I know, I was very disappointed. I was like, oh no, it fell over, because it was a pretty little snowman. But so that's our first casualty, is the snowman falling over. But they got about 2 inches. I want you to check this out. You can see along here, and I had a little I got my Leatherman tool here, and it has measurements on it, inches, and if you push it in, well, it's 2 inches. It's 2 inches of snow here, and it's stuck to the trees, and some of the snow is starting to fall off of these branches and stuff. We're right at freezing, but you can see this is just fine. It's not frozen, it's just wet. So the ground here, you know, on the pavement and the concrete, it's just fine. You can tell they put a little bit of, maybe a little bit of salt here possibly, but you can see on the trees, the bushes, and some power lines, it's accumulated, but that'll be going away soon because we're just right at freezing, and the temperature is going to go up from here. But it's real pretty here in Forsyth County, but the roads are passable, or Forsyth City, Monroe County, but the roads are passable. There's no ice or anything. Everybody's driving around kind of checking out the sights and seeing how their town looks with a blanket of snow right at a couple inches here in Forsyth, Monroe County, south of Henry County by about 25 minutes down the interstate. And it's a real pretty sight here. We did have a snowman. It was enough to make a snowman, but it has since faded away, fallen over as the day has begun, and this will all start to melt soon, and the winter wonderland will become a messy slush land. But right now it's very pretty, so if you want to get out, if you're down in this area, I'd suggest getting out, taking some pictures of these beautiful trees that are all covered up. It's real nice. If you have a long look down the roads, you can see all the trees covered up. It's real pretty, but the snow's starting to fall off of these branches, and that's an indicator that temperature is going to start rising. You can see how it's stuck to the poles here, but it's real pretty. But the roads are passable. It's no problem. They're just a little bit wet, and cars have the snow on them, but the roads don't have any snow on them. But that's the scene here in Forsyth, in Monroe County, just south of Henry County. And they got a good snow here. I'm sure they're not used to this in this part of the state. It's kind of odd for the southern region to get the snow, and Atlanta and the northern mountains not to really see much snow, but that's how the weather pattern moved out. The moisture stayed to the south and gave them snow down here, but no snow up in the northern metro area. Judea, back to you.
Eli, great job showing us, and I feel so bad looking at Frosty on the ground there, but you know what? It reminds me, you probably have you seen the old movie for Frosty the Snowman, where the kids put him up together and then they have to make sure that he doesn't melt, but of course he has to because the winter has to end at some point.
Right.
That's exactly how I feel looking at him.
Yeah, Burl Eyes did that, yep.
Yep.
Yeah, I know, that's how I feel. I just saw some more snow fall off of trees over here, so it's the beginning of the end is here for the beauty, so I get out and get, see as quickly as you can, get out, take some pictures and enjoy it, because later on today, it's going to be a little bit messy, I think.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for giving us this live look out there. We're going to continue with our coverage across the team, who we know we've gotten out to a couple of different places to see how the snow has piled up. So I want to get right out to our Ray Llerena, who's live from Putnam County. The snow was really coming down before, but Ray, it looks like maybe it's starting to stop. Is that right?
Yeah, Judea, it has stopped, and that's happened in the last 30 minutes. Yeah, and when we were on the stream just about 30 minutes ago, you could see signs that the snow was starting to tail off, and now it is fully stopped. But here is what remains. You can see all this accumulation is still on the ground here in downtown Edenton, which is where we are at. We're actually right next to the Putnam County courthouse. You can see what is left over. You can see plenty of accumulation on some of the evergreens, some of the trees that have shed their leaves for the winter. You can see that the snow is kind of resting on their branches. Some of the snow is actually falling off some of their branches as time goes on. It's a very much a winter wonderland here in Edenton. We did speak to one person who was just out on his morning walk, and he said that this was a great, great thing for him to see out on his morning walk, whether that be sunshine or rain. He's just thankful that he gets at least one good snow day for his morning walk. And throughout the day, there's been a lot of excitement here in Edenton. We did have a woman who drove by us the other day, a couple hours ago rather, just screaming, "It's snowing, it's snowing, it's snowing." So this is not a something that happens often in this part of Georgia, people have been telling me, and they are just taking full advantage of the day. But it was a very slow process just to get to this point, Judea, because when we got here at 5:30, it was bone dry, it was 40 degrees, and then from there, just seeing the progression. So at 5:30, it started raining, and then the temperature kept dropping with that rain, leading to a wintry mix at 7 o'clock, and then transitioning to snow that lasted, snow shower that lasted for about 2 hours. And ever since then, we've seen some kids playing and just having some people just driving around, just enjoying the snow day, Judea.
Ray, great job reporting out there. I know that this is not your first time reporting in snow, but I believe it is your first time for us here at Fox 5 Atlanta. So again, wanted to tell you did a great job. It's been kind of trippy watching the hours pass by, because as you said, when you guys all first started, we kind of thought this may have been a nothing burger. And then pretty soon, yeah, we saw that snow coming down, especially in your area. So again, great coverage. We're going to continue checking in on all these different areas across Georgia, you guys, so don't go anywhere. Ray, we'll see you later. Still ahead, there are a lot of you guys who are sending in your photos, your videos. As Eli said, this would be the time before the snow melts, and if you do take some photos, we want to see them. How you can get your photos, your videos live right here on Fox Local, Fox 5 News Live. We'll tell you more about that in just a second. Hey guys, welcome to Fox 5 News Live. I'm Judea Murray. We've gotten so many pictures of you guys enjoying the snow, so many videos as well. I want to show you just a couple of them because, as I promised, if you send something to us, we may put it right here on Fox Local. So if you see snow, take a picture, take a video. I'll tell you how you can get it out to us. But let's start with some video from Monticello. The snow was really coming down in the area. I want to give a quick shout out to Atherine Passmore, who sent this video to us. It's covering their cars, their yard, all of this happening out in Monticello. As we get some more images out in Jasper County, this has been really interesting to take a look at. We've got some more video from a Griffin, and I'm sorry, this one comes from Atherine Passmore. Our first video came from Brandy, so let me be clear. You can see the snow coming down out here too. Again, those cars are absolutely covered. This obviously very early in the morning. Ooh, did you guys see that wind? Oh, I know it's freezing. So as soon as this video was taken, I have a feeling she scampered back into the house where it was nice and warm and toasty, and I don't blame her. Got another video to show you from Pike County. This one's sent in by Kelsey Carter. Oh, it's a picture, and first of all, your home is gorgeous. Wow. This is what I want to see, you guys. Kelsey understood the assignment. Absolutely gorgeous scene. It looks like it should be something on a postcard or in a magazine. Again, your home is beautiful. Thank you so much for choosing to have your photos shared here on Fox Local. A lot of you guys also got to see some of your stuff on Good Day Atlanta. If you want to continue seeing your stuff throughout the stream, best way to do so, you can email us at newstipsatlanta@fox.com, or you can use the Fox 5 Storm Team app. That actually might be even easier. There's a form that you'll fill out, attach your photo or your video, and it goes directly to us. We may have to ask you a couple of more questions just to make sure that we can use it, but after that, you just might see your stuff here. And I do want to remind you that this is a live news conversation, so whether you're joining us on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, or maybe even Facebook, got a question, ask it in the chat. If you have a comment, if you want us to focus on a story that maybe we're not covering, stuff like that, put it right there in the live comment section. I'm reading them as we speak. That's me live. So you can interact with me in real time and get some of your biggest news questions answered. It's kind of pulling the veil back behind your newscast. You essentially have come to be part of it. All right, so we got some news from the Atlanta Falcons late last night. They have finally hired their next head coach. You may know this face, you guys. He is no stranger to the NFL. They hired former Browns coach Kevin Stefanski as the new head coach. This is their 20th head coach in franchise history. Now, Stefanski brings a 45-56 career record and 2 Coach of the Year awards to the team here in Atlanta. So we're excited to see what he can do for the Falcons. We want a winning team. We want Super Bowlers. We want it all. So what can you do for us? Now, we do know that head coach Stefanski will be reporting to team president and Falcons legend Matt Ryan, which is pretty exciting here. So again, the Atlanta Falcons have officially named their new head coach. He is the 20th head coach in franchise history. Next, we are looking to see who's going to fill the general management spot. We know that in just a week, 2 weeks maybe, the Atlanta Falcons have undergone some big changes in leadership, and so this is big news for sports fans. I want to know though, you guys sound off in the comment section. I saw y'all, you were really rowdy on Instagram last night with some thoughts and some concerns about him as a coach, but I would love to see how you guys are feeling. Do you think that we have the team now that we need to succeed? I mean, we've got some great players, but do we have the leadership that we need? Or should we have continued searching? Who would you like to see in the general management position? I would love to see what you guys think. But continuing on with the sports news, the Atlanta Braves gave a Georgia child, and it looks like the sports team there gave a child an exciting surprise, a surprise of a lifetime, really. Burke the Brave will be headed to the football championship thanks to Dream on 3, which is an organization that helps children like himself, a nonprofit. They make sports dreams come true for children who are facing some serious medical challenges. So the group came to Burke's house. They surprised his family. They granted his longtime wish of attending a championship game, making sure he knew that, hey, it's happening. So we know that that championship, I believe, is happening out in Miami. Burke the Brave will be on a flight there to catch that game. We know Dream on 3 organizers say they first met Burke in a hospital. He was undergoing chemotherapy. At the time, they delivered a dream box for some sponsors. And after that, they learned pretty quickly just how much attending that national title game would mean to him. So they started working behind the scenes with his family to make that a reality. Now, with some help from some partners, because it takes a village, including the college football playoff, Burke and his family will be headed to the big game in style. Their trip is going to include a limousine for transportation, a stay at a championship partner hotel, and VIP access. They set my boy up for success. Their send-off was a full community celebration. I mean, we've got great video of it. Shout out to our photojournalist Billy Heath, who took this video. It's so good. Honestly, it looks like a commercial, but this was real life, regular stuff that was happening. He just happened to capture it in real time. We also know that some officers from the Sandy Springs Police Department showed up in full force, along with some neighbors, some friends, sponsors, and other local leaders. The Atlanta Falcons, of course, had to jump in. They sent Freddie Falcon and some of the cheerleaders to help celebrate Burke's big moment. So again, the family is ecstatic. They say to them, this is so much more than a trip. This is just evidence that their community loves them, that they want their son to have the best life he can. They credited Dream on 3, that nonprofit, with helping this little boy keep his spirits up during treatment and giving him something powerful to look forward to. So Burke also talked to us. He said the experience reminded him not to give up and to keep pushing forward, both extremely important themes as he is battling his medical issues. Organizers say that moments like these ones are only possible because of the community support, and they describe the turnout that they saw between the police, the leaders, the Falcons, Freddie Falcon, as overwhelming in the best way possible. So that's what we have there on that. I wanted to make sure that we ended out this hour with a little bit of good news. We will continue talking about this weather ahead, because a lot of you are still wondering what's it going to be like in your area, how quickly the snow may or may not melt. We have more on that when we come back. Hey guys, welcome back to Fox 5 News Live. I know a lot of you guys want to know more about the snow and what's coming ahead. A couple of you guys are watching all across the country, all across the world. Even someone from Cape Town says it's sunny out there, but baby, it is not out here. I mean, it is sunny, but we are also seeing a lot of snow. In a little bit, I want to check in with our meteorologist, Alex Forbes. I'll give him a couple more minutes to put some stuff together for you guys. But I do want to remind you that we are having live full team coverage coverage as it pertains to the snow that we saw early this morning. So let's get right out to our meteorologist, Alex Forbes, who's been waiting on standby. Alex, I see a lot of snow behind you. First, tell us what we're taking a look at, and then I'll let you go.
Well, let's do another tour. So we are looking live in Forsyth, Georgia. I want to emphasize this is Forsyth, the city, not Forsyth, the county. We were showing this camera during Good Day earlier this morning, and everybody, well, not everybody, I got a couple of messages. It was like, what the world are you talking about? There's no snow in Forsyth. They were talking about the county. This is the city. This is Monroe County. This is about 20 miles north of Macon. It's about 60 or 70 miles south of Atlanta. You see the snow on the grassy surfaces there. This is the Volume Chevrolet, if you're familiar with the city itself. So that's I-75 south looking towards Macon, where snow is continuing to fall at this hour. So let me take you down into the Macon area. So this is going to be downtown. In fact, this camera is from the television station I used to work at, WMAZ. There you go. That's going to be the Macon City Auditorium there. You see the snow still coming down, and you can see it accumulating there on some of the rooftops. For reference, there's the Piedmont Hospital back there. So the Ocmulgee River runs right behind that building right there, and that's right close to where they imploded that hotel last year, if you're familiar with that. Another spot here in Macon, this is going to be Mercer University. So maybe you've got some kids down in college. They have some snow on the ground there. This is going to be the football stadium. So there's the big video board there. Downtown is going to be in that direction, so snow on the ground there at Mercer University this morning as it is continuing to come down. Now, last we saw down in Perry at the Georgia National Fairgrounds, it was coming down at a pretty good clip. It does not look like, at least in the shot that I'm looking at on my computer right here, that's coming down quite as much. Yeah, it looks a little lighter right now. This is the Georgia National Fairgrounds, so if you're driving up 75 from Florida, the big clock tower on the right, this is Perry. Over towards Dublin, this is going to be downtown Dublin. Looks like the snow's coming down at a slightly better clip here than in Perry. Let's see here. Yeah, there you go. So notice you don't have as much accumulation on the ground here in Lawrence County just yet, but the snow really looks like it's just picking up, and I would expect to see that here in relatively short order. Over in Thomaston, this is going to be outside of the Augusta area now. We are looking at the same thing, the snow continuing to fall at this hour. There you go. Not really looking at accumulation on the grounds here. It looks like it started maybe 30 to 45 minutes ago, and the ground's still just a little warm. Back into the Augusta area. Let's go see if we could check on, I believe it was the Marriott shot there. Well, actually here, this is one. This is Augusta University. Let's see what's going on there. Augusta University. Yeah, so some flakes flying, but not seeing anything on the ground there just yet. To be completely honest with you, I'm not very familiar with the Augusta University area there in the city. I'm trying to see if I can pull up the river shot again, because this is where we saw some decent snow in the last 30 minutes out there. There you go. So some flakes flying, but nothing sticking just yet. So the snow continuing to fall across parts of Georgia. Here is Fox 5 Live Viper. Going to have an update for you here in just a second. A lot of counties here have been removed from the winter storm warning and the winter weather advisory on the western side of the state. So no more snow for Henry County, no more snow for Monroe County, Jasper, or up towards Morgan County. Things are coming to an end. Eatonton wrapping up here in the next few minutes. Over in towards Greene County wrapping up here in the next few minutes. Likewise in Oglethorpe County. So there goes the back edge of the snow. The cloud cover will move out later this afternoon. The sun really prevails today. We will be looking at clearing skies by the time we get towards sunset this evening here in the metro area. We're up to 33 now in Atlanta, or down to 33. We haven't warmed any this morning. 41 is where we're headed later this afternoon. So it is worth noting, right? We are not necessarily going to see a ton of melting today. Temperatures will be above freezing briefly with some sunshine, but we still could hang on to some stuff through the overnight hours, which would prompt a black ice threat. Any more snow today is going to be outside of our area. There's your snowfall potential for the remainder of the afternoon. Yeah, that 20% chance. It's hanging on by a thread. I'm about to go take it off the 7-day forecast here, though. Clearing skies for the remainder of the afternoon. Watching for some black ice tomorrow morning before we get up to 45 tomorrow afternoon, Judea. Anything that doesn't melt today and refreezes will be gone by the time we get towards, say, 11 noon tomorrow.
Ooh, that is good to note, because a lot of people are going to be driving thinking that they're good to go just because there is no snow left over. Yep. But black ice is a thing, you guys, so be safe. Be safe and rather than sorry. Now, Alex, I do want to ask you one question. I asked you this yesterday, but people in the chat were really surprised that we were focusing on Central and South Georgia, and they're like, how is it snowing there but not North Georgia? So what's that about?
Well, here, I'm going to answer it, but I'm going to go pull something up on the computer over here that will help explain.
Okay.
Actually, you know what? I got another computer. Here we go.
Look at you with the tech.
I got all the different buttons, all right? So basically what has happened is a surge of cooler air came in from the north. Everybody has the cooler air, right? So it's cold in Rome, it's cold in Blue Ridge, it's cold in Blairsville. It didn't snow in any three of those spots. So with that cold air in place, the only X factor here was the system coming in out of the south. The question was, how far north was that band of snow going to get? So, if you have cold air, but you don't have moisture, you're not going to get snow, which is what we saw in northern Georgia. It wasn't an instance where, say, it was just cold enough for snow south of Atlanta. It's only that it was cold everywhere. It's just that the moisture was only south of Atlanta.
Okay, that makes sense, and thank you for explaining that to us. I was starting to try, and then I was like, why am I going to do this when I've got our in-house expert here who could tell them in a lot better words than I could? So again, thanks, and also thank you for sticking around to give us this full picture on what we can expect with our snow and just weather across Georgia. All right, you guys, remember that this is a live chat, so if you guys have any questions, you want to see some areas, that question that I just gave Alex actually came from you guys on TikTok, but remember, those of you who are watching on YouTube and on Instagram and on Facebook, you can chime in as well. Want to take a look at a couple of photos while we wait for our photojournalist Eli Jordan. He is chasing some snow across Georgia and has a live look. Actually, it looks like he's already up and ready for us, so let's skip ahead. Eli, I know that you were headed to Forsyth County at the very top of the show, and it looks like you've made your way there. Tell us more about what you're seeing. Oh, Eli, I'm sorry. It looks like we don't have sound from you for just now. Maybe it's just some technical difficulties. We'll come back out to him in a second. Let's go ahead and check out those images that I was talking to you about, because remember, if you have some snow in your area or if you saw the flurries coming down, we live in such a tech-driven society. I know some of you guys took some pictures. Feel free to send them to us. The best way to do so, you can send them to the email address newstipsatlanta@fox.com, or you can reach out to us on the Fox 5 Storm Team app. There are just two that I want to show you if I can get you to those. Let's start in Thomaston. Take a look at the snow that was falling out there. This was early this morning. That we saw that snow falling, and a Fox 5 viewer by the name of Rick Pullman sent this in. You can see the flurries really coming down, and thanks to that light, it gave us a better shot at how much snow we were seeing too. Let's check out Griffin as well. Fox 5 viewer Nicholas Rain sent us some video from Griffin. In his video, you can see the snow coming down pretty well out there, but it didn't appear to be sticking to the roads, which was good news. But of course, we did just hear from our meteorologist Alex Forbes that just because the snow may stop in your area doesn't necessarily mean you're out of the clear, because if that rain or any slickness stays on the roads as the temperatures drop overnight, it could potentially lead to ice on the road, and nobody wants to drive over black ice. You'll end up ice skating, and unfortunately that could end up in a wreck or even worse than that. So I want you all to stay safe. I'm looking ahead. Let's get you to some top local news. Here are some other things that are happening around town. Starting, we were talking about wrecks. Let's start with a wreck on I-20 that we know unfortunately claimed someone's life. One person, according to law enforcement officers, has died in a wreck on I-20. These are the eastbound lanes that we were checking out way earlier this morning. All lanes at that time were shut down. This all happening near Evans Mill Road. That roadway was supposed to remain closed for an undetermined amount of time. I was trying to check in with our GDOT cameras, Georgia Department of Transportation. Unfortunately, I don't have a better idea of when that roadway could reopen. I also don't have much more information about the person who died, so unfortunately I don't have their name, their gender, anything else, age, nothing like that. We're still waiting for law enforcement to get back to us. But I do see that we have a live camera back up for our Eli Jordan, so let's see if we can head back out to him. Eli is in Forsyth, and I apologize if I've been saying Forsyth County. My brain's been all jumbled up. We have Forsyth, Georgia, and Forsyth County, completely different sides of the spectrum here in Georgia. So let's get right out to our Eli Jordan. Eli, what are you seeing as you continue your news gathering while we're chasing the snow here in Georgia?
Judea. I am out here in Monroe. Oh, I got mixed minus problems here. Anyways, so I'm out here in Monroe County, just east of Forsyth. I decided to take a little drive down Juliet Road just to see how the surface streets were besides the interstate, because the interstate looks just fine. People are traveling up and down the interstates. The surface streets here are good. I drove a good ways east and out Juliet Road towards the power plant, and the roads are completely passable. We do have snow falling off of the trees because the temperature has gone up a degree since I last spoke to you guys. It was 32 degrees when I was in downtown Forsyth, and now it's 33 degrees. And as you can tell, the roads are passable just fine. Everybody's zooming on by, no problems at all. But it's very, very pretty. Take a look at what is going on out here. I mean, the snow has left a beautiful scene, and it's postcard-esque, all up and down Juliet Road here, and but I can see some blue skies right over there. Oh, it's going blurry, but yeah, I got blue skies over there about to approach, but that's what all is going on here. They got about 2 inches here in Monroe County and around Forsyth. I measured it with my little trusty Leatherman tool there, and they had 2 inches. And but no, it's a pretty scene, and that's about it. There's no issues, travel issues, or anything like that, and no power lines down. Everything looks good. So I guess that's it. Back to you, Judea.
Well, that was simple and that was easy. Thanks for giving us a look. We've been hopping around town, checking out all the hardest hit areas. That was our Eli Jordan reporting from the city of Forsyth, giving that live look at what's happening out there. Let's close his mic so we don't hear him anymore. Eli, we'll come back out to you in a little bit. All right, keeping the top local news going, you guys, because we have a couple of more minutes. Have you heard about the former DeKalb County superintendent who's now facing some charges here in Georgia? His name is Dr. Devon Horton. Remember when I was first reporting when he was going for the job here, there were a lot of people who were excited. There were also at the time some parents who had some qualms about him. But we know that on Saturday, just yesterday, he was arrested here in Georgia on felony assault and child cruelty charges. Now, that arrest is separate from a 17-count federal indictment that he's currently facing in Illinois. This is all regarding an alleged kickback and embezzlement scheme. So a lot of people are like, well, how did he get the job here? Well, I'll tell you, because the story goes on. First, let's go back over the most important details. He was arrested on Saturday. He was booked into the DeKalb County Jail. He's facing charges of third-degree cruelty to children and first-degree assault. That exact situation that landed him with these charges, we don't have much more information on that. We do know, though, that he was arrested by the DeKalb County Police Department, and we have reached out to the police department for more information. Unfortunately, we haven't gotten much back. Now, let's talk about his time as superintendent and also what happened in Illinois. We know that Horton resigned from his position late last year after being indicted on federal charges tied to his previous tenure leading Evanston-Skokie School District 65 in Illinois. Now, it remains unclear, again, what led to his recent arrest or if the alleged incident occurred during his tenure as superintendent. All we know is that he just happened to be arrested yesterday. But the DeKalb County School, they wanted to reach out and give a statement. In it, they say the DeKalb County School District is aware of the reported arrest of former Superintendent Dr. Devon Horton, which stems from an alleged incident not related to the school district. They went on to say, as this is an active legal matter with law enforcement, the district has no further information to share and will not be making additional statements. The safety and well-being of our students and staff remain our highest priority. Let's get back into his time as superintendent. That search for a new superintendent in DeKalb County actually ended on April 2023. During that time, Horton was the sole finalist. 2 weeks later, the board voted 6-1 to approve his contract, which ended months without a superintendent and months of uncertainty. But it also sparked some new controversy because I said there were some parents, some people out there in DeKalb County who were a little hesitant about bringing him on. There were heated public forums in which parents and educators raised some questions about his leadership record, and they also brought up a 2021 federal lawsuit from his Illinois district that accused officials of promoting, and I quote, race-based programming. former DeKalb County School Board member Dr. Joyce Morley spoke to us and said back in December, the board was aware of this previous bankruptcies and an ongoing criminal investigation in Evanston before hiring Horton, which is interesting. The person says, and I quote, "The board already knew. We had an anonymous package sent to us late last year, August 2024, that showed about 14 indictments that they were suggesting." So again, here's the information that we know. My job is just to give you the details, the facts. Here's what we have from police records and what we're hearing from Illinois. Of course, you can form your own decisions and opinions after that, but everyone should be considered innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. I also want to run through real quick. There was an Atlanta vigil just yesterday held for a woman who was killed by an ICE agent. This all happening, of course, in Minneapolis. You've seen her face everywhere. You know her name, Renee Good. So at Atlanta's Freedom Park, about a dozen people got together and they held a silent vigil. It was kind of like a Quaker-style worship format that focused on peaceful reflection rather than the traditional marching, yelling that you tend to see when it comes to protests. They were protesting what's happening with ICE. They're also protesting, of course, Renee Good's death that was seen on camera and played just about everywhere. It went viral very quickly. And with that quiet protest, we got a chance to get out there, sit with them, talk with them. We'll have more on what some of the organizers had to say as our streaming hours continue. But at this point in time, I want to come back to me in studio. We're going to get back to the snow. I know that is the biggest story of the day that a lot of you guys are concerned with. Is it going to hit my area? Some of you guys don't even live in the state of Georgia. You're just interested in seeing the beautiful photos. So we've gotten together some of our viewer submitted photos, videos. I want to show them to you. So in a little bit, I'm going to bring up our Caitlin Pratt, who's been checking out what you guys have been putting out for us. Hey guys, welcome back to Fox 5 News Live. I'm Jadaea Murray. I had to bring Caitlin up to the desk. Caitlin, first of all, you were on Good Day Atlanta and with some extended coverage into the storms and the snow.
We sure were, and a lot of you at home were helping us along the way.
Absolutely. Before we get into some of the photos that we have been seeing across all of our platforms, I want to get into some of the live comments because, Caitlin, these people are playing with us. There's somebody watching from K-Town right now. I shouted her out already, but she was like, oh my gosh, it's snowing there. I'm on the bench sun tanning. Must be nice. Must
Look
be
at
nice.
that face. Okay. She's probably drinking a nice coffee too, right? As we're just trying to
keep it together.
Yeah, exactly.
It's gonna be rough for us for the next couple of days. But you know, I do want to remind you that you can talk to us live on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. If you have a comment, you got a question, you can share it with us.
Yeah,
but we
today
also
we'll talk with you about it. I
Yes.
love that about the stream. We're just having conversations up
really
here.
quick, yeah. We are trying to take back the veil of like your traditional newscast,
Yeah.
where technically we're talking to you or talking at you. We're talking with you. You are part of this. You actually can change some of what I'm talking about if you had a suggestion.
We're in it
and
together.
It works. Yeah, pretty much.
Yep.
All right. So in addition to the comments, we know people have been sending us pictures and videos.
Oh my gosh. And you know what's so great about this? I love this for every single storm event because, of course, you and I, we're here in the studio, right?
We can't
we're
see
at the
everything.
digital desk. We can't be out in the field like our reporters or our meteorologists in training. You guys out there in the field snapping those pictures, taking those videos and sharing them with us. So it gives us a better idea of what exactly is happening in your neighborhood. And also, Alex Forbes was saying earlier, it helps him determine like the line of where the precipitation starts and ends. So let's dig in. Let's show with all of you streaming with us some of the pictures, some of the videos. Oh, isn't this nice?
It is beautiful.
That's
Yes.
a Lakeview,
Nice home.
obviously. This is Lake Oconee, I do believe. Yes, looking so pretty. I know we have a couple of our staff members who have places on the lake there, and they snap some photos showing just a beautiful way to wake up this morning. We do have a picture from Lisa Johns, who sent us a photo of her dogs enjoying the snow there at their lake house. Butts County. There it is. This is my favorite. Can we make this into a meme? All right. Yellow lab, right? Let's do this. Let's go play in the snow.
The black
Great
lab is like,
time.
hold on.
Brown,
Wait a minute.
Brown lab? No. Let's go back inside, Mom. It's too cold here. No thanks. It's warm and dry inside. So yeah, let's stay at Lake Oconee. Let's go back rather. They get enough snow to make a snowman here. We have a tiny one to show you.
Y'all are so creative.
It's so cute. Look at the little acorn hat. My goodness. This is one like you'd make on the, the hood of your car. That's how much snow we're talking about here. Didn't stop them though. Obviously, they just love this. Robert Renfro, thank you so much for sending us this photo. Got about an inch, and I feel like that's what you got to do whenever there's snow, Jude. You have to get the ruler out.
Advantage.
Yes, the deck photos. And Alex was saying earlier, the deck actually is the best indication because it's level. If it's on the ground, you're putting the ruler in, maybe you're going beneath the grass into the dirt, so it's not really accurate. So if you're ever really wanting to be accurate with your measurement of any sort of snow situation, he says, yeah, the deck is obviously the best bet.
Okay.
And we have another video from Greene County, and look at this.
Wow.
Right?
Wow.
Where was this a week before Christmas?
We were
1 month
dreaming of a
ago?
white Christmas,
Where
and
was
we did
this?
not get it.
Well, I guess better late than never. This is courtesy of our own Fox 5 chief meteorologist, David Chanley. Just, seen out of a postcard, and I was checking my social media feed earlier on Facebook, and he was making a snowman with his grandkids, and he was saying back in the day he never got to spend snow days with his daughters because of course he was working.
Yeah, we're all looking to him for the forecast.
And now he's enjoying it with his grandchildren, so we just love that for him.
Good.
And we have one final thing from Griffin to show you. Oh my God, this is yeah,
this
bottle
will be
this
me.
up. This is us. And look at God. Let me see if I can read the cup. My
Pull it
eyesight
down.
is terrible here.
And of course they start moving.
There we go. But you get the idea. So you have your fireplace. God is
Within her, she will not fail.
She will not
Or maybe she will
fail.
prevent. Yeah. Oh, Lord. I need to
And
read my Bible again.
little puppy going by with the snow falling. This is just picture perfect snow day. And I love too that this is happening on a Sunday morning. Not a lot of people are heading out to work. You know, we're not going to school. If you can stay inside, enjoy it. And so many people did. And
As
we
you
do
should.
thank you for sharing your morning with us here at Fox 5. It's been such a pleasure throughout the morning to be seeing your videos, sharing them with every other person who's streaming with us, maybe just wanting to see some snow because you didn't get any. I know my toddler, I had his snow pants out. We were ready. Little man won't need them today.
All he knows is
in DeKalb
disappointment.
County.
Oh, poor baby.
I know.
Well, we'll show him the pictures and the videos if we can. And if you guys still have some stuff you want to share with us, I remember I said that I wanted to see the fur babies and my wish was granted. Make sure that you reach us out to us on email. It is newstipsatlanta@fox.com, or you can use the Fox 5 Storm Team app. That's probably the easier bet. Just got to fill out a form, attach your photo, your pictures, and it goes straight to us.
Love that. You can do it on our Facebook page too if that's just easier for you. We'll gather them
have all hands on deck, so we're able to see all the different places, and we really appreciate you guys interacting with us and sending your stuff in. It's been so cute. Plus, you might just see it here on the stream. Caitlin, thank you so much for showing a couple of them to us. If we get some more, I would love to have you back up here to see some more. All right, you guys, with that in mind, we have to move ahead. We are going to get right back out to our Fox 5 Storm Team meteorologist, Alex Forbes. Got a couple of questions for him about this forecast, and apparently, so do you guys. We'll have more on that when we come back. Hey guys, welcome back to Fox 5 News Live. I'm Jadea Murray. Remember, we are chasing snow across Georgia. It's not just exciting for us Georgians because, you know, we don't get snow that often, but I also am seeing that some of you guys don't even live in the U.S. and you're just interested in seeing how excited we get. You're interested in seeing some of the photos and some of the videos that end up popping across the screen. I do want to remind you that if you have a video, if you have a photo, you can send them to us. Again, the address to do that at, if you'd like to email, is newstipsatlanta@fox.com, or you can use the Fox 5 Storm Team app and just fill out a quick little form, attach your video, attach your picture, send it on in. We may or may not reach back out to ask you a couple of extra questions just to make sure that we have the rights to use your photos and your videos, but then you could potentially see them right here live on your screen. Another option for you, if you're already on social media, you know, why not just use that? We've got our digital team on set here. We're able to look at the DMs DMs and everything else that are coming in. So if you want to send some pictures, some videos that way, we would love to see them. Now, the last time I made a request, I wanted to see the fur babies. But if you have some photos of the kids enjoying maybe their first snow, that would be absolutely adorable. So we'll get more into that in just a second. But first, I want to get right out to our meteorologist, Alex Forbes. Alex, you have been forecasting this. You actually, I just want to, again, pull the veil back. Yesterday, you kind of gave us the heads up that this could potentially get like all that we are seeing. That's why we had a team on deck. So as the day has continued, what are you seeing?
Well, yeah, I mean, just thinking back to yesterday, it was right when we were wrapping up the Fox Local stuff that I was thinking, all right, I need to pull the trigger on adding the South Metro into the snow forecast, which we did end up seeing flurries and even some light accumulations on the south side of the Metro, so that ended up being a good call. And we put the dominoes in place yesterday afternoon, and then I pushed them over when I got to work this morning and seeing that everything was going to play out the way that I anticipated. How about this? I think this is the most the heaviest, biggest flakes I've seen this morning on a camera. This is down in Dublin in Lawrence County. You're looking over towards the courthouse there. And yeah, the snow coming down at a pretty good clip. Let's do another camera tour here because I hear that's what the people like. So the snow is coming to an end in a number of places, including in almost all of our area. I'll show you the radar here in just a second. But first, this is going to be Macon. We're going to go over to Mercer University and check out the football stadium there. And what you're going to see is snow blanketed. In fact, actually, you see some college kids down there on the football field. They keep the gates open there so that people are able to freely go in and out. And so they're enjoying the snow day there in Macon. In Forsyth, that's where we were watching the snow fall all morning during Good Day Atlanta. And here's what we have now. The interstates look mostly clear. It's the side roads that I would watch for some slick spots, but the sky is a lot brighter than it was, and the ground obviously very white from this morning's snowfall. Let's go over to Milledgeville. We've got a new partnership with a company called Cyclone Port. They're the same people who do Radar Omega, and they've got a series of cameras here, and they've got this one at Baldwin High School where you can see some snow on the ground. But notice on the concrete here, it's just wet. It's not frozen, so that's important to note. I'll go over towards, you know what? I haven't checked on Waynesboro. It looks like we have snow there. Let's see. I don't totally know where this camera is in Waynesboro, but there you go. Some snow falling in Waynesboro. That's over in eastern Georgia, over not too far away from the Savannah River. Not right on it, but close to it. How about Sylvania? Do we have snow in Sylvania? This is kind of fun. Let's see. I don't see anything. Certainly is fine, but yeah, no, not seeing any snow falling there. And then so that's further south. Let's go up towards the north, towards the Augusta area. We've got the great river shot here. Here it is. Play live. That was at the Griffin County EMA, just for reference. There you go. Snow still falling, but not really looking at any accumulations there in the Augusta area. So there's the back edge of the snow, right? Pushing out. I was saying 11 a.m. is when we were going to be all clear in our neck of the woods. And as soon as we get that last little bit out of Putnam County, we will be in the clear. So for Metro Atlanta, no more snow today at all, or really for the next little while. I don't see any more snow on the horizon as this continues to push off towards the Augusta area. Down on the south side, clear as well over northeast Georgia. Maybe a stray flake up in Madison County. I would be surprised if that was actually happening, though. So there it goes. Going to see some clearing later this afternoon. So any snow that we have out there, temperatures are going to get into the upper 30s and low 40s, so some melting will be possible. Add in the direct sunlight. Yeah, I think we're going to see some melting. Here's the thing, though. Not everything is going to go away by the time we get to the evening hours, and anything that sticks around will be able to refreeze through the overnight. So there you go. The blue sky over on the west side of Atlanta right now. Clouds on the east side of Atlanta. We are still at 33 degrees here in the city. We've been there for about 4 or 5 hours now with that northwesterly breeze at 14 miles an hour, expecting to get to 41 this afternoon. There's your freezing temperature for tomorrow morning, 45 for the afternoon hours, and then we do get back into the 50s towards the back half of the week. But these morning low temperatures, Judea, mid-20s, added in a breeze, and it's going to feel like the teens once again.
Well, good to know about the snowfall as well as our forecast and the weather or temperature ahead, I should say. Alex, I do have a quick question for you. I know we had that winter weather advisory supposed to be in effect till 1 p.m. I know you were anticipating maybe we would see things really clearing up around 11.
Yeah.
Is that still the plan?
Well, so here, in fact, let me go punch it up real quick, the winter weather advisory, because technically the National Weather Service did trim it back, but I didn't show it because, as I mentioned, for our area, for all intents and purposes, it has pretty much come to an end. Now, the reason why it goes until 1 instead of 11 is because for us here at Fox 5, we cover up to Madison, Oglethorpe, and Greene counties, and then down on the south side, it's really just Putnam, Jasper, over towards Butts, and then Lamar counties. The National Weather Service covers a larger area, so it's not like they issued the winter weather advisory until 9 over here, until 11 over here, until 1 over here. It's just until 1 o'clock area wide, and then they trim it back as it goes. So yes, it's technically still in effect. Yes, technically Baldwin County is in a winter storm warning right now, but I don't expect any more snow for the rest of the day.
Well, good to know for those of us who didn't want snow. Sorry for those of you who did. Alex, thank you so much. We'll check back in with you in about 30 minutes or so to see if anything has progressed. Speaking of people who definitely did want snow, we had a comment on Instagram I had to laugh at while we get out to our photojournalist Eli Jordan. They said, man, I thought I was going to wake up to some snow. Obviously not. Y'all wrong for that, or something like that. Just funny. Thank you guys for weighing in. Again, this is an interactive conversation, so when you say things, I can see them in real time, and I'm able to address it here on the stream. Now let's get right out to our photojournalist, Eli Jordan. Eli has been out in Forsyth. We were saying maybe we would see some kids enjoying the snow, and apparently you found them.
Oh yeah, we're having fun out here in Monroe County and Forsyth, and just right down Juliet Road again. And these guys have never seen snow like this before, and they're out here. They're doing their snowmen, they're doing their snow battles, and they're doing some snow angels and all that. And Quincy Moore joins me. Hey Quincy, how you doing?
I'm doing well.
Hey, so tell me, what do you think about the snow?
Man, the snow is very unusual, especially in Georgia, where the weather is always hot all the time. So every time we get snow, we try to come outside and play in it because it's not something we get very often.
Tell me, what did you think when you woke up and looked outside this morning?
I was so shocked, my jaw just dropped, and I woke up my little sisters to tell them about it because they never really played in the snow before. So I let them come on out here to the church and let them go sledding, make snowballs, make snowmen, just have fun.
How you guys enjoying it so far?
Man, it is fun.
So is it too cold? You guys had to snow cream or anything like that? Or
no, to be real, I just had to wear multiple layers. Like I have a compression shirt, a t-shirt, and then I got this puffer jacket. Then I had to put on some gloves today.
Yeah, the gloves are important. I can tell you, my hands are pretty cold too. I can't wear gloves while I'm doing all this operation. So tell me, what do you like better? Do you like doing snowmen? Do you like snowball fights? Do you like doing snow angels? Just tell me, what do you prefer?
I think my personal favorite is sledding. Sledding, it brings raise up your adrenaline, and it's super fun. Then I think the one right after that is just snowball fights.
That's cool. I mean, this pretty much doesn't happen often. This is once or 2 or 3 times in a lifetime experience. Really.
I know, especially for them, because whenever they grow up, it's probably not gonna snow as much for them because of climate change. So it's gonna be very unusual to see snow in Georgia from here on out, probably.
Oh yeah, or no telling, it might just go haywire and we might be the new North Pole. Oh, crazy climate. But this is bottom line. What do you think about this snow day?
It is. I love it because we don't get it. We don't get it a lot. So whenever it happens, just try to play in and have fun. Ain't nothing you can do but love it.
Awesome, Quincy Moore. Thank you very much. And you guys can keep on battling or do whatever you want to do. So that's the scene out here in Monroe County and Forsyth, Judea.
Eli, this is so cute. And he had the best smile. It made that interview even better. The fact that he made sure his siblings could get their first play in their first snow. Great big brother there. So that's what's happening out in Forsyth. That's Eli has shown us. Remember, we are tracking, chasing snow across Georgia. So if you see some where you are, you have some pictures, some videos to share with us, once again, feel free to reach out to us. The email address to send your stuff into is newstipsatlanta@fox.com, or you can reach out to us on social media, or you can use the Fox Life Storm Team app. Again, you're just going to fill out a little form, attach your video, attach your picture. We may have some more questions for you, so we'll probably try to get back into contact with you just to make sure that we have the rights to use those photos, but you could potentially see them right here live on air. We're going to get back out a little later on with our Caitlin Pratt, who will be able to show us some of the latest photos, videos that you guys are sending in. All right, look, still ahead, we have an interesting conversation coming up. Not related to weather, but still very worthwhile. Imposter syndrome. Have you heard of it? It's kind of this situation, this syndrome, if you will, where people feel like they don't deserve to be in the place that they are. Yet they are in that place. And so then there's that fear, that constant looking over your shoulder, like somebody's going to find out that I don't actually belong here. But the thing is, you do. And so we're going to talk to an expert in a little while. She's an Atlanta-based surgeon, but she's also known for empowering young women. She'll talk to us a little bit about why this affects young women, especially in the workplace, especially Gen Z, and how you can overcome it. We'll have that conversation when we come back. Hey guys, welcome back to Fox 5 News Live. I'm Jadea Murray, and we've got a really interesting conversation ahead for you. We'll be talking with Dr. Sabeel Val. She is an Atlanta-based surgeon. She'll be able to tell you a little bit more about her expertise, but the conversation is really around imposter syndrome. Before the break, I let you know that it's kind of like this, you know what, actually, before I tell you, we'll bring in the expert. Dr. Val, can you talk to us a little bit more about what imposter syndrome is?
Good morning. Thank you so much for having me on today. So imposter syndrome is actually not a true diagnosis on the DSM, but it is actually a feeling of not belonging, a feeling of not deserving to be in the room, although you have all of the credentials and all of the reason to be in the room. It was actually first studied in the 1970s, where very successful professional women felt that they were imposters, and it's actually been studied even among physicians, where almost 25% of of physicians feel that they have imposter syndrome.
So let's get into it. The very first time that I heard about this, I was in grad school. So many people were saying they felt like it, and they kind of gave a name to what I was experiencing myself. I had made it to this institution. I passed the tests, and I was in the room. And for some reason, I felt like I don't belong here. And someone's going to figure out just by talking to me that I don't belong here, and they're going to make sure that I leave. What is it about that age group? Because what was I, like 21, 22? But Gen Z, the younger kids, what is it about that age group that, really triggers us?
What really is happening is it's the fact that we're educated and we're knowledgeable, but we still don't have the equity that is required to make us feel comfortable in the spaces that we are in. If we truly felt that we belonged prior to coming into the room, then we would be comfortable in the room. Because there's a lot of sense of not belonging, not being a part of the crew, a part of the group, we feel like outsiders trying to come in. It's extremely common in professional women. It's extremely common in educated individuals who meet all of the requirements yet feel that they don't belong. And it's oftentimes because they haven't had the mentors or the people who have been in the room to help them feel comfortable and pull them into the room with them.
So you may have just touched on it a little bit there, but I want to give you a chance to come back into it. We know that this really hits young women. It's not just the age group, because we're seeing, based on the research, that it is women, not necessarily men. So you talked about having the people around you to talk to you. Why women?
Well, it happens to women because women still are not given the authority to feel powerful, to feel like they belong in rooms that men feel that they belong in. Men never really question their competence. Men barely question their ability, but women are constantly having to ask themselves if they belong, even when they have proven that they belong. And it's because of some of the things that we see in society. Men continue to dominate most fields, including medicine. Men continue to mentor other men and help pull them up to the top. And that's not happening for women as much. Women are still being encouraged to focus on family, to focus on the home. And because of that, when they're out in the working world, they find themselves isolated, even though more and more women are in the working world.
Mm-hmm. I actually was going to touch on that, and you kind of just hit the nail on the head. It's kind of mind-boggling that we are seeing more and more women turning to the workforce and being in some of these high fields, high positions, yet we also are still suffering. So let me ask you this. I'm a young Gen Z woman. I happen to be watching this programming right now. Got to go to work this week. What are some things maybe I could tell myself in the morning just to pump myself up and get ready for the day ahead?
That is a great question. We first need to look in the mirror and tell ourselves we belong here. We belong in these spaces. We are good enough. We've done the work, and our record shows that we are good enough to be in the room. We need to own our power, and then we need to harness that power and use it to create opportunities for ourselves, to be in more rooms, and to bring others along with us.
Okay, that sounds pretty good. Do you ever experience imposter syndrome yourself?
I will tell you this. I've read a lot about imposter syndrome. I know a lot of female physicians who state that they have imposter syndrome, but I absolutely refuse to give myself that diagnosis.
Amen.
Because I had a mentor in my 20s who told me that I was smart, and I believed him. He encouraged me. He pulled me into rooms that I didn't belong in, and he pushed me forward. And that's some of the same things that I do for young women now.
I feel like you just spoke a word over me and my life and for everybody who's watching this live stream right now.
Awesome.
I want to ask you one more question, though, while I do have you, because it is really interesting getting to pick your brain on this topic. We talked about having a mentor, somebody who can really talk you up, make sure that you know that you are exactly who you think you are.
That's right.
Do you have any tips on finding a mentor? Sometimes it's awkward asking that question.
Yeah. So, one of the things I've come to realize is you don't really ask someone to be your mentor. You work with people, they see your potential, and they help create opportunities for you. Over over time, that actually develops into a friendship. So a mentor really evolves into a friend that you can call on, who's experienced some of the things that you're about to experience. And oftentimes when young people reach out to me, they say, hey, I need a mentor. And I explain to them, you really have to start where you are. The people working around you, those people can create opportunities for you where you can finally find someone who's where you want to be. And by following along, working with that person, you eventually get to where they are. And that relationship has to be one that flows. So it's not a rigid relationship. It's a relationship where both people are in it to help grow the opportunities for both of them.
That makes sense. And actually, looking back, because hindsight is 2020.
Of course.
One of the women, she was one of my mentors right now. When we first met each other, I remember in the most cringe way possible, I asked this woman, would she mentor me? She didn't know me from a can of paint. I just knew at the school that I was at, Howard University, she was a mover, a shaker. She had a lot of say over the journalism program. So I was like, I want you. And she was like, no. But she became my capstone thesis professor. And so kind of like you were saying, we did have that working relationship together. We ended up in the same room a lot. And so she could see my work ethic. And from there, then she decided, in a way, we didn't even talk about it, but just over time, I realized, like, I looked up one day and I was like, you are my mentor. You have talked me through so much. I am always in your office now.
That's right.
Yeah.
And that's how it happens. It's very, very natural. And what we need to do is create the opportunities to bring younger women into these rooms, to bring younger women into these organizations, and from there connect with them and help them grow.
And it's just as simple as that.
It's just as simple as that.
Dr. Vale, can you tell me one more time? You did say that you were an Atlanta-based plastic surgeon. Can you tell us specifically where you are based in case somebody's interested in looking you up?
Oh, absolutely. I am a board-certified plastic and reconstructive surgeon practicing at Artisan Plastic Surgery right here in Sandy Springs.
And y'all, obviously she is a force. So thank you so much for making some time for us here on Fox 5 News Live. I have a feeling we're probably going to be talking to you again in the future, so keep a lookout for an email from us. Yeah, it was great getting to talk to you. All right, you guys, still ahead, we do have some more news. Remember, we have been talking to you about the snow and everything that's going on there. I want to take a second to check in with our live chat. Also, just trying to see if you guys had any comments about the interview that we just had. I know we may be a little ahead, so I may have to look back in a couple of minutes to see where you guys are with what we just discussed. But wasn't that a great little chat? And it made so much sense how she was able to break it down for us, what it is that we need to do as young women, especially our Gen Z young women who are just trying to find themselves in the workforce. You are good enough. You got into the room because you were good enough. Now all you got to do is act like it. And one of the best ways that you can make sure that you keep that confidence about yourself, as we heard from Dr. Bell there, is to find a mentor, but make sure that you do it organically. Don't try to force anything. Learn from my mistakes. Still ahead, we will keep checking out what's happening in the weather forecast, but I do want to remind you that tomorrow is Martin Luther King Jr. Day, and we know that that is a federal holiday in order to celebrate the life of our Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. I do believe we have some video to show you some old images of him walking through some of his marches, some of the speeches that he was able to give. He encouraged the world to reflect on some of the biggest issues of racism and civil rights. And still to this day, even in his death, people look to him, look to his quotes as a way to live their lives today in 2026. Now, here's the fun fact. Dr. King's birthday was officially made a federal holiday in 1983, but it actually wasn't until the year 2000, just 26 years ago, that all 50 U.S. states fully recognized it. So let's take a step back. In 1968, Michigan Representative John Conyers introduced the first motion to make King's birthday a federal holiday. This was 4 days after he was assassinated in Memphis at the Lorraine Motel. He would bring it up every year in the legislature legislative session until 1983. So shout out to Michigan Representative John Conyers. Illinois became the first state to adopt MLK Day as a state holiday in 1973. Then some other states, including Massachusetts, Connecticut, and New Jersey, ended up following suit, enacting their own statewide holidays during this time. But it took 11 years since Conyers' initial motion before it was finally brought to a vote in the House of Representatives back in 1979. And y'all, that bill failed to pass by just 5 votes. It was 252 to 133. So eventually, celebrities joined in on the fight. Back in 1981, Stevie Wonder actually released his soulful mix of Happy Birthday, making it an anthem for the movement and a crowd favorite that still lives on today. You still hear people singing at their birthday parties. In 1983, the House took up the bill again, passing it by 53 votes. And despite an attempt from Senator Jesse Helms of North Carolina to paint Dr. King as a communist, the bill also passed in the Senate by 12 votes. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Also went on to have his birthday celebrated as a federal holiday, thanks to President Ronald Reagan, who signed legislation declaring every third Monday in January to be a holiday for Martin Luther King Jr. and his service to the U.S. And despite that legislation, the story goes on. Despite that legislation, individual states continued to resist passing a state holiday, especially Arizona. In 1987, Arizona Governor one of Arizona's governor back in 1987 rescinded MLK Day as his very first act in office. So many entertainers, remember I said the celebrities, they were really falling behind Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. So those entertainers, organizers began to boycott the state of Arizona. Actually, the NFL even moved the 1993 Super Bowl from Phoenix to Pasadena, which cost Arizona millions in revenue. And usually money is where you tend to get people's attention because that's the bottom line. So in 1992, Arizona citizens voted to enact MLK Day. The Super Bowl was brought back to them in 1996. But to take a step back, by 1993, MLK Day was celebrated in some way, shape, or form, sometimes even under a different name in all 50 states. It wasn't until 1999, though, that New Hampshire became the last state to adopt it as a paid state holiday, replacing its optional Civil Rights Day. And then in 2000, Utah brought up the rear as the last state to recognize MLK Day by name, replacing what they used to celebrate as Human Rights Day. So just a little fun fact for you as we get into this federal holiday. Of course, here on Fox 5 Atlanta, with just a couple seconds left, I want to let you know you'll be able to stream the commemorative service. I'll talk to you more about that when we come back. Hey guys, welcome back to Fox 5 News Live. I'm Judea Murray. We are still keeping up to date with what's going on across south central Georgia, where snow fell earlier this morning. And my biggest question is, how long is that going to stick? Let's head right out to our meteorologist, Alex Forbes, who's been covering this in depth for us. Alex, what are you seeing now?
Well, Judea, it's really been more of a central Georgia type of event. We've got all rain really across southern Georgia. No winter weather threat in Valdosta or over towards Brunswick. Maybe in Savannah a little later on today, but the bulk of what we've seen has been more of a Macon, Warner Robins, Cordele, Dublin in terms of the higher amounts for the state of Georgia. Of course, we saw our own bout of winter weather here in the south side of the metro area. More details on that in just a moment. First, want to show you downtown. I've been advertising the back edge of the clouds pushing through right around 11. Well, here we are at 11:01, and there's the back edge of the clouds now in the metro Atlanta area. This is live from downtown looking up towards Midtown. It is still cold out there, 35 right now. And I want to point out that our air here in the city is super dry, and it's really quite impressive that the snow this morning managed to overcome that. So if we had seen snow right over Atlanta, hypothetically speaking, if it had snowed in Atlanta this morning, what would have happened is this dew point temperature would have needed to come up. And the only way that happens is if you get the snow to start falling, but it evaporates as it reaches the ground, essentially. It moistens up the atmosphere as it evaporates. So if we had seen that over the city, that dew point right now would be like 34 or 33, something like that, and that humidity would be close to 100%. All right, that northwesterly breeze, that's going to keep us cold today. 15 miles an hour right now. That's 16 degrees colder, that 35 that is, than this time yesterday. Still at the freezing mark, up 400 in Alpharetta, 32 in Cumming, 33 in Gainesville, 34 over in Cartersville, and 33 in Douglasville. Down on the south side, all right, so where we have snow on the ground, we are at freezing right now. I do expect a number of these temperatures to come above freezing if you're not there already through the afternoon hours with some sunshine, so that is going to clear out some of the snow out there. All right, here's our yellow line. This is the clearing line now from really Wilkes County down through Warren County and in towards Washington. That's going to be Wilkinson over towards Twiggs counties as the snow continues to push away. So on the south side, no more snow. Not looking for any more snow today. Over on the east side, maybe a couple flakes still over into Wilkes County and getting over towards the South Carolina state line in Elbert County, but 30 more minutes, that's going to be across the Savannah River. Now, Judea asked earlier about the winter weather advisory and the winter storm warning. Technically, it goes until 1 o'clock. But for all intents and purposes, I'm just going to stand right here and pretend like it doesn't exist, right? It's not going to snow anymore today if it has already stopped for you. So, yes, technically, we do still have these alerts in effect for 2 more hours, but no more snow coming. Now, one thing I would be on the lookout for a little later on this evening, in fact, I need to go ask the Weather Service about it. I think we could see another winter weather advisory issued through the overnight hours, and the reason for that would be the black ice potential that we would have around north and central Georgia tomorrow morning. So there goes the back edge of the cloud cover that we just saw on the tower cam. Clear skies by 3 o'clock. Into the evening hours, it's going to be a nice sunset across north and central Georgia. Anything that doesn't melt this afternoon will have the opportunity to refreeze tomorrow morning. 31 your overnight low temperature in the city, 20s in the suburbs, 45 for tomorrow afternoon in Judea. I know a lot of kids were kind of hoping, crossing fingers, crossing toes for no school on Tuesday if you had snow. Anything that doesn't evaporate today will evaporate tomorrow with a 45-degree high temperature and sunshine.
Alex, you're crushing dreams. You're
That's
crushing
what I'm here
dreams. Thank you for sticking around for us, giving us more insight into our forecast, and also walking us through the areas where we did see snow earlier and, what's still ahead. I really appreciate you taking the time to do all this for us. Remember, we are still technically tracking snow, so I want to also get out to our Eli Jordan, who found himself in the middle of a snowball fight. Actually, taking a look now, it looks like we don't have him just yet because we may have some technical difficulties, but this is a perfect time to walk you through some of our hyper local headlines. I'm sorry, now I'm looking at my producer on the side of the screen, and it seems like we do have our Eli Jordan, so we'll get right out to him. Eli, again, you found yourself in the middle of a snowball fight. Who won?
Oh, God, I don't think there's any winners in a snowball fight. It's, you know, it's mutual destruction is what it is, but mutual fun too. But yeah, they've been having fun out here. I mean, these people don't get to see snow very often down here in Forsyth and Monroe County, just, you know, about 20 miles north of Macon. But it's cold out here, and it has snowed. They got a couple inches, and I'm here with Anderson Harris. Anderson Harris, how are you today?
I'm doing. I think it's wonderful. You know, we don't really get to see snow here a lot, so it's just fun to, you know, have it and enjoy it.
And to tell me, what has been your favorite part? Has it been the sledding? Has it been snowball fights? Has it been, you know, just snow angels? Tell me what your
My favorite part has been the snowball fight because, you know, I just like to hit everybody with a snowball. It's real fun.
Now, how often have you been able to have snowball fights in your life?
I want to say this is probably maybe my third time having a snowball fight in my life, so it's very rare.
And I guess you've lived here all your life,
Yes,
right?
sir.
And do you remember, when was the last time you had a snow like this, would you say?
We had snow last year, like around this time too, but before that, I had to be like in elementary school, real young, last time we had snow.
So, I mean, everybody that's been out here, you say you all live on, you know, your neighbors, you guys live on the same street. I mean, just tell me, how much fun has this been for you guys?
Oh, it's very fun, you know, having my neighbors out here with me, my close friends, you know, just playing with them every day is very fun, you know, and then we have the snow, it makes it even more fun.
And how are you going to feel when it melts off?
It's sad. Like last year when all the snow melted, it was like, dang, it's not much fun anymore. You know, just having snow, it makes things way more funner.
Now, if we didn't have a holiday tomorrow, you might actually miss school. But you still get to miss school anyways because of the holiday. Thanks to Martin Luther King. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But tell me, what are you going to tell people about the snow?
I'm just telling them, just had a great time, you know, having snowball fights, sledding, and everything, just having a great time.
Awesome. Anderson Harris, thank you so much for chatting.
Thank you.
You guys have fun. Stay warm.
Sir.
Don't get too cold out here.
Yes, sir.
Don't get too numb, and make sure, you know, you stay, whenever I play, I always got all hungry, you know, come back in, I was all hungry, wanting to eat some food, and have some soup or whatever.
Yes, sir.
But yeah, that's the scene out here, Judea. They're been out here wearing themselves out, having some fun in the snow because it doesn't happen very often at all. Back to you.
Not at all. And Eli, you know, it's the giggles for me. They are having so much fun out there. And honestly, this is every parent's dream. Get out there, put the iPad, the cell phone down. You guys just enjoy what it is to be a kid and outside, which not a lot of kids do anymore, and tire yourself out. So when you get back in here, you can go to sleep tonight. All right, you guys, we will be checking back in with our photojournalist, Eli Jordan, a little later on. We'll also check back in about an hour with our meteorologist, Alex Forbes, as it seems the system is starting to calm down. But we will bring you the latest. Now, still up ahead, it's arguably Georgia, Atlanta is like Black Beauty, the Mecca, if you will. There's an event happening right now as we speak, celebrating natural hair, celebrating the locked community. I want to bring in the founders of that expo and talk to them about what they're doing, why this is the first for the South when we come back. Hey guys, welcome back to Fox 5 News Live. I'm Judea Murray. Still got a lot of big news happening for you across the metro Atlanta area, and I want to dig into some of it. Earlier this morning, we know on I-20 there was a fatal wreck. We again have learned that it was deadly. One person lost their lives in this. Unfortunately, we still don't have much more information. When our cameras got out there, we could see the emergency vehicles, but we couldn't see the vehicles that were involved in that crash. Right now, I can tell you that earlier this morning, all lanes were shut down. The eastbound lanes at Evans Mill Road, the roadway remained closed while law enforcement, first responders got out there trying to figure out what they really had on their hands. And ultimately, they have given us the information that one person, while we don't know their name, their gender, their age, one person has died in that wreck. We're also getting some new information about a DeKalb County superintendent who was arrested. So here are the details that we've got on this, and bear with me. We've got a lot of new stuff into our newsroom within the last minute or two. So his name is Dr. Devon Horton. He was the DeKalb County superintendent until he resigned. But here's what we have on that. On Saturday, he was arrested, charged with felony assault and child cruelty charges. And for a couple of hours now, I've been telling you about this, but I wasn't able to tell you what the incident was that led to these charges. However, from the DeKalb County Police, we have now gotten a little more insight. On Chedworth Lane, police were called to respond to a domestic call. Officers determined that there was a verbal altercation between Dr. Devon Horton and his wife that eventually turned physical. So Horton was arrested for aggravated assault and cruelty to children in the 3rd degree because police say children were present at the time of the attack. Former DeKalb County Superintendent Devon Horton, as I've been telling you about, has been arrested for assault and child cruelty. Now, this all comes separately from the 17-count federal indictment that we know Horton faced in Illinois regarding an alleged kickback and embezzlement scheme. So the information that we have on that, Horton resigned from his position as a superintendent in DeKalb County late last year after he was indicted on federal charges tied to previous tenure that he had leading Evanston Skokie School District 65 all the way out in Illinois. We know that some parents, some members of the faculty, there were some people who were a little hesitant about him taking the job in the first place. I remember myself because I was a reporter on the digital team at that time. There were heated public forums in which those parents and educators raised questions about his leadership record and a 2021 federal lawsuit from Illinois district that accused officials of promoting, and I quote, race-based programming. So that's even separate than the other charges that I'm talking to you about. But also, former DeKalb County School Board member Dr. Joyce Morley told us back in December that the board was aware of previous bankruptcies and an ongoing criminal investigation to Evanston before hiring Horton. They say they received an anonymous package in August 2024 that showed 14 indictments that they were suggesting. So in Illinois, we do know that he was facing some charges attached to alleged kickback and an embezzlement scheme. And then we know here in Georgia, his charges are revolving aggravated assault and again a cruelty to children in the 3rd degree because children were allegedly present during the time of an alleged assault between Horton and his wife. The DeKalb County superintendent search in which he got his job concluded in April 2023, and Horton was the sole finalist. Just 2 weeks later, the board voted 6-1 to approve his contract, ending months of some uncertainty and also sparking some new controversy based on what I was just telling you about that we have now heard from both parents, educators, and now a former DeKalb County school board member. So that's what we have there on that. All new information coming into our newsroom as we speak. I also want to talk to you about a silent protest that happened here in Atlanta. It was at Freedom Park where about a dozen people got together for a Quaker-style worship format. No yelling, no chanting, no marching, nothing that you normally see when it comes to protests. They were protesting the death of Renee Good. You probably know that name. You've probably seen her face. She is the young woman who was killed by an ICE agent in Minneapolis, Minnesota. There have been so many protests across the country since that happened. But again, here in Atlanta at Atlanta's Freedom Park, dozens of people gathered for that silent quote-unquote worship rally where they were expressing their disgust or some of the qualms they have with ICE and how the Trump administration is running that program. They also focused on, of course, the killing of Renee Good and the increased militarization regarding U.S. intervention in Venezuela. For the most part, the atmosphere was just calm, reflective, while protests in the other parts of the country have remained volatile, like some that we have seen in Minneapolis. I remember just about a week ago, we were interviewing one of Fox News's reporters live, and behind her, we saw tear gas, we saw flashbangs, we heard people screaming. So very differing scenes that we are seeing here. That silent vigil concluded without any incident here in Atlanta. Organizers do say they plan to continue their quote-unquote week of action through the upcoming Martin Luther King Jr. holiday. Now I'm taking a look, and we may have a live shot now with the founders of the Lock Expo. I want to see if first, can I hear them? Ladies, if you hear me, can you say something real quick? No, I don't hear them. Can we make sure that they are not muted on our side on the Zoom? Chris, can you check in on the side? Thank you. We're going to take a second to make sure we've got all our ducks in a row and make sure the tech is still working for us. In the meantime, I can talk to you a little bit more about this snow that we have been experiencing. Earlier this morning, we saw it coming down pretty thick across central Georgia. We had our eyes on South Georgia. We knew nothing really was going to happen in North Georgia, but you guys have been submitting pictures, videos, all the like to us, and we're able to share them live on the stream with you here. So in a little bit, you'll see more of those photos that I'll be able to pull up with our Caitlin Brad, one of our reporters who's been checking to see when you guys send stuff like that. Ooh, it looks like I hear them. Ladies, can you say something real quick? No? Okay, maybe I hear myself. All right, getting back into the snow. Can you hear us there? Yes, I can. Well, I hear you. There we go. Now I hear you guys. Say something again.
Good morning.
Perfect. Okay, so I am joined, I know, by Sasha T, Charlene, Fatima. When I call out your name, raise your hand so I know which one is which. Sasha?
Seisha.
Seisha. My apologies. Charlene?
Charlene.
All right. And then Fatima? Fatima?
Yes, Fatima.
See, at some point I was going to correct myself.
Absolutely. You got it right.
We have learned that Atlanta is hosting the first ever Locked Hair Expo in the South, which, I mean, when I think about it, is that right?
Absolutely correct. Yeah.
That's so wild. You would think that Black culture, history is celebrated so much in a place like Atlanta. So for this to be the first Locked Hair Expo, I mean, well, you guys hit a market that definitely wanted to see it.
Yes.
So talk to me about how you created this.
Such a great.
Oh, you know what? We're continuing to break up. I was asking, can you walk me through how you made the decision to start this expo?
Well, actually, about 16, 17 years ago, I had locks. And when I decided to get locks, it wasn't a lot of information on how to maintain locks, what I should do. The person who started my locks, she would just do them. When I would ask her questions, she didn't have a lot of information on what I could do. And when I would go to other people, I didn't know if they were gatekeeping or they just didn't know themselves. So I went to my cousin and I was like, hey, you know, let's do something to inform people about what they should do with their natural hair, what they should do with their locks. And then she went to Seisha, and she's a loctician herself. And she started, you know, doing hair about 30 years ago and said, hey, let's do this thing so that we can inform people with natural hair, people with locks, so that they can be more informed and not be like I was a few years ago and not know. So that's why we decided to do this big event, and it's for everyone.
And I mean, respectfully, a lot of us, when we decide to go natural, because a lot of us, some of us as kids, maybe our hair was permed, our hair was straightened. So when we decide to go natural, it's really hard to figure out what the right products are, what the right styles are. And then when it comes to locks, we all have to go through the baby lock, time period, the era. So it is nice to see that there is a community building. You guys have that event that is happening right now as we speak, where so many people are coming in and they're able to meet like-minded people like them.
Yes.
I have another question for you all. Why was it so important in a place like Atlanta to have this?
Well, we are in Atlanta. We are in the Mecca. It is such a diverse area. We're all from here. So what better place to do it than where we're from? This is Martin Luther King weekend. We're respecting the Crown Act, where we want to give homage to those who have hair, that are working in a professional setting, that are just out here, have locks, that actually do this as a profession. We want to be able to celebrate everyone.
And I understand that this is more than just hair. What is it about just beauty in general, or the culture, that you're hoping that comes across to anybody who comes through those doors today?
Well, today we just want people to know, you don't necessarily have to have locks. You can have natural hair. And it's not just about your hair. Sometimes when you look at yourself in the mirror, it's a mental thing, a spirituality thing. So I can say, oh, my hair doesn't look good today, so I don't feel good. My energy is off, because everything starting from the crown of your head to the bottom of your feet, it's just in your presence and it's your persona. So you have to know, just because you have locks or natural hair, your energy is in that and your mentality is into that as well, because it takes a while in order to grow your locks. And even with the natural hair, it's just something about that confidence in terms of how you look and how you move throughout that day with your hair.
Amen. I did the big chop, I think 8 years ago now. On air, I look a little different, but when I'm at home, kind of what you said, it takes a while to grow. But one thing that I noticed, I kind of started treating my hair like a plant, and it was beautiful to just watch how, when I water into it, when I do my research on what can help, how much my hair flourishes when you really take that time. So I'm glad y'all touched on that. Now, ladies, correct me if I'm wrong. At the expo, I know you guys have vendors, and there are places where people can interact with small businesses. Why was it so important to shine a light on our small businesses?
We have different vendors here. People out here, we wanted to make sure that everyone is seen. And I kind of don't like to call it a small business, because everyone, it's not small, it's big to you. So we wanted little small businesses to come out and show how big they are to everyone, and to showcase what they have going on. And we also have different rooms, like Fatima was saying. We have an energy room. We have Seisha will be teaching how to style your children's locks. We have different other rooms.
Business room as well.
A business room as well. So we want everyone to come out and put into these vendors and these other businesses.
Yes.
Okay, so I want to let you know, we are live right now, not just on Fox Local, Fox 5 Atlanta, but also on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. I feel like I left one out, Facebook. But people are hitting the comment section right now. Fragrance Fitness Foodie wanted to know, when is the event? Obviously it's today, but can people still get out there? What time does it end?
Absolutely. Come out and join us. We're going on right now at the, it ends at 5 o'clock.
Okay.
So you can absolutely come out right now.
We're at the Laudermilk Center downtown.
Atlanta, Cortlandt Street.
Let's see the three of y'all together.
On Instagram with all of the information.
Give us the Instagram one more time.
The Lock Expo on Instagram and all social media platforms.
Okay, beautiful. So Fragrance Fitness Foodie, I hope you heard that. That is where you can find out more information, and you have plenty of time to get out there. So I hope you enjoy yourself. If you do take pictures, go take pictures, tag us, and then we'd love to see how it looks out there. Now, just one last question for you guys. This has been going on throughout the morning. You took some time away from different things that were happening to talk to me. So just give me a run through of how the morning went.
Well, we've been setting up. We just did our opening prayer, and we're just getting ready for the day. The vendors are set up. We are about to go downstairs and introduce ourselves, but we've started. The music is playing. People are entering. We're getting the VIP area set up. So we're super excited for the day to start, which we just started. And so we're progressing, and I'll be teaching a class in just a moment. So I'm excited for the day.
And come on out because we'll be doing some raffles to give away some goodies as well.
Ooh, okay.
To those breakout rooms and icebreakers. We'd love to see you.
Yes.
When you say giveaways, are we talking hair products? Because those are not cheap.
Yes.
Okay.
We have several sponsors. We have Patterns, Sally Beauty. So definitely we have several different sponsors. So we're definitely giving away hair products.
This sounds great. I'm really happy that you guys were so patient with us during the technical difficulties. We figured it out, and we did get to have the interview as planned.
Thank you so much for having us. We really appreciate it.
Of course. Go forth, have a beautiful, wonderful event. Again, thank you for making some time for us. You guys, these are the founders of the Lock Expo that's happening right now here in Atlanta. You can find them on Instagram or any social media platform for that matter and get more information. And for me, the reason why I wanted to give you guys an interview just like this, talking now to our live audience on a couple of our different social media platforms, is because yes, Martin Luther King Jr. Day is coming up. Also, Black History Month is coming up. And why wouldn't we take some time out to celebrate a culture that is really ingrained in the city of Atlanta just in general? So it's kind of, like I said, just mind-boggling to me that this is the first expo of its kind here in Atlanta. So you don't want to miss out on it. I'm sure they will be doing this in the years to come. So I wish them great luck. You guys, we'll be right back. Hey guys, welcome back to Fox 5 News Live. I'm Judea Murray. Just last week, really over the weekend, a video went viral. It shows a man apparently on a racial tirade, and that video that you've probably all seen because it was on all the social media accounts, all the biggest blogs, has prompted some questions about the First Amendment, what it is, what it protects, and more importantly, what it doesn't, because we know that man is facing facing charges. So first things first, let me get you the information you need. Robert Burke, 65-year-old man who was seen in that video outside of a Social Security office, allegedly yelled racial slurs. You could hear him using the N-word on camera, also threatening some people who were in the area. It looked like he was talking to the security guard. This is all bystander video that has gone, like I said, just about everywhere. Now, he is facing charges. He was taken to jail at last check, and I will check again to see if anything has changed, but I know yesterday evening it looked like he was still in jail facing disorderly conduct charges. Now, we talked to police because a lot of people were looking at that video and they were like, well, why would he be arrested for saying the N-word? Is that not free speech? Don't we here in the U.S., aren't we allowed to say what it is that we want? Isn't that the freedom that we fought for? Technically, yes, but there are some exceptions. I'll let Corporal Angela Carter from the Gwinnett County Police Department explain.
There are exceptions to the First Amendment. Those include fighting words. So basically, you can't make statements face-to-face to someone that may entice violence in that moment. There were other individuals on the scene that potentially could have been victims of the crime of simple assault, but they chose not to prosecute.
Okay, so like I said, it prompted some questions about the First Amendment. The very first one is, what is the First Amendment? Well, you guys, according to the U.S. Constitution, states Congress shall make no law, I want to read it so I don't get it wrong, abridging the freedom of speech or of the press or of the right of the people peaceably to assemble, yada, yada, yada. You learn this in elementary school. The First Amendment really protects 5 core freedoms. That's the freedom of the press, like I just said there, freedom of speech, freedom of religion. You can serve whoever it is that you want to serve, and technically people cannot tell you that you are wrong or that you cannot do that. You also have the right to peacefully assemble. So usually when people have protests, as long as they have a permit, they are not destroying anything, they're not hurting anyone, technically they can do that too. There's also the right to petition the government. You don't have to like what it is that our government officials say. If you feel that whatever it is that they said was wrong, technically you are able to say that. You're able to write that. That is the freedom of speech. So one of the 5 core freedoms that's protected. Now, why is this important? Well, here in the U.S., again, we did fight for these freedoms. The First Amendment supports our democratic society by making sure that it is okay for us to speak, to have our own ideas, to be able to criticize things, people. We're all able to have our own opinions. So that's why it's so important. Now, it also helps us hold government officials accountable. It also promotes intellectual and cultural creativity. I mean, the list goes on and on. There are a lot of reasons why the First Amendment is important. But let's get into what is protected speech, because technically him using the N-word was protected under the First Amendment. Political, social, and religious speech, protected. Criticism of public officials, protected. Symbolic speech, so surprisingly, even if you decide to burn a flag, protected. Demonstrations, well, if they're peaceful, protected. Satire, parody, mockery, so you can make a video about someone on the internet and it's okay as long as it's a parody, as long as it's satirical, as long as you are not making allegations that I would say harm their reputation that you cannot prove in a court of law. And then anonymous speech. Now, what's not protected, because we do need to get into that too, and that's one of the other big questions that this video brought up. Obscenities, excuse me, so technically cursing in a way, child pornography, incitement, especially of a riot or crimes, true threats, defamation, or fighting words. And that's one of those things that you heard that Gwinnett County Police Corporal talking about. Fighting words are not protected. So because I believe it was because he was face to face with individuals also in the vicinity of children, technically what he said would not necessarily be protected. It wasn't the fact that he used the N-word. You could say whatever it is you want, even slurs. Technically that's protected. It's I believe because he was face to face and because he made that threat towards the officer, the security guard who was there. Also, commercial speech such as advertisements have to be regulated. So you can't just say whatever you want on air, in a commercial, posted to social media as a commercial advertisement. There's also, they take into account the time, place, and the manner in which you are talking. So remember, I told you you are able to peacefully assemble. So the manner, peaceful, is important. Also, that you have a permit, so you are allowed to be wherever it is that you are. That's important too. The government cannot punish speech simply because somebody doesn't like the viewpoint that you expressed. So that's why slurs technically are protected. Also, the First Amendment restricts what the government does. Individuals and businesses do not necessarily have to allow speech they find offensive. So let's get into that, because a lot of you guys brought that up in the comment section. Yes, technically it is. You can say whatever it is you want to say. However, if someone doesn't like it and they react to you, there are consequences. Now, granted, them reacting, especially if it's violent, that has its own qualms, and they can be charged if someone were to hit you because of what you said. But what they're saying there is, just because you said something that is protected doesn't mean people can't retaliate against you. You might be surprised that you say the wrong thing, and then you find out that not everybody is kumbaya. So that brings us back to the video that you are looking at there on your screen, that viral video in which we learned that man was facing charges. I do want to be clear. He's not facing charges because he said the N-word. He's not facing charges because he dropped the F-bomb. He's facing charges of disorderly conduct. So let's be clear there. And according to the Code of Georgia, disorderly conduct is when a person commits the offense of disorderly conduct when such person acts in a violent or tumultuous manner toward another person, especially if that person is placed in a reasonable fear of safety. So whether they fear their life, they fear their limbs, or they fear their health. Also, if that violent act toward another person makes someone fear that their property could be damaged or destroyed. Also, if it happens without being provoked. So if you just come up to somebody and decide to start spewing these different things at them. Also, if you use obscene, vulgar, profane language in the presence of or by telephone to a person who's under the age of 14 years. And that's really important to keep in mind too, because according to that video that has gone viral, there were children in the area. So that's that on that. I wanted to just take a little deep dive. A lot of you guys had been asking questions about that video. I have seen it just about everywhere. The biggest question was, what about the First Amendment? So that was a quick little breakdown. All right, want to get out now. I do believe our Eli Jordan may still be on standby, or maybe we have a live camera. Let's get on out to him. Eli, I know you've been tracking snow across Georgia. Earlier, we saw you in a snowball fight. We heard the kids laughing and screaming. You have quite the day. Talk to me through about where you are now and what you're seeing.
Hey, Judea, yeah, I am in Forsyth, right along I-75 and an access road showing that the roads are fine. And but there is snow on the ground. They got about 2 inches here, and people have been driving around looking and sightseeing, enjoying this rare snow, even though they had some last year, but it doesn't happen too many times during a lifetime down in South Georgia. I lived in Alabama, and I could probably count on my, 2 hands how many times we had snow days and whatnot. But it started off this morning. I woke up at 3:30 in my home in Henry County and didn't see anything. I thought the radar, I thought it was going to go all south, and I even texted a couple people, said we ain't going to get any snow. And then went ahead and got out at about 5 o'clock this morning live for the Good Day show, and at 6 o'clock we started having flurries, and then it showered snow for a good while up in Henry County for about an hour and a half, and it stopped. And then I drove down here about 9 o'clock, and then it's been a winter wonderland down here in Forsyth in Monroe County, and I've found snowmen, I've found some people having snowball fights, and people have just really been enjoying this little treat we had here in mid-January, right before the Martin Luther King holiday, of a nice snow day. And but all in all, it hasn't inconvenienced anybody. No travelers have been inconvenienced, and it just seems like a good, clean snow day without any bad traffic problems in the metro area. Judea?
Again, I appreciate you giving us this insight into what's happening out there while we're here in the studio and some of us are at home, maybe even in an area that didn't get any snow at all. It's interesting to see how it really transpired across central Georgia. So appreciate you for your time.
Now we're starting to have clear skies, so it's beautiful down here now. And
oh, absolutely.
Contrast against the white, I was like, this is a nice scene. So I'll step out of the way, get my ugly mug out of there so you can check out the nice scene. So yeah, some of the snow is starting to fall off.
100%. I was actually admiring before you got out there.
Around 34 degrees, but it's a beautiful sight out here right now. And if nobody's gotten out, this isn't going to last too long. So the way it is now, we're going to have a lot of snow falling. That's what's beautiful, is the snow on the trees and the branches, and it just adds to this, the aesthetic and the white on the ground. And but the roads are clear. There's no problems. I've seen some salt trucks and some plow trucks, with the plows on the front. They're also the salt trucks. But it looks like they're wrapping up and they're making sure that everything's all good. But it's just a beautiful day out here, a beautiful Sunday with snow on the ground in Forsyth, Georgia.
Eli, it is nice to know as well that, hold on, I'm sorry, let me turn you down, I hear myself. It is nice to know too that Georgia was well prepared for a scene like this. Typically, we see the ice, the brine trucks and whatnot. Maybe it just wasn't as bad as maybe we were anticipating it to be, but so far, and let me knock on wood, I haven't heard any reports of any weather-related incidents across our area. So nice to know. And you mentioned there too, it is gorgeous. You guys have probably a short window before the sun starts to melt a lot of the snow across Georgia. So if you do have some pictures and some videos that you'd love to share with us, we would love to see them. Coming up, we're actually going to take a look at some of those images with our Caitlin Pratt, who's on standby in the sidelines for us. She'll be showing us how you guys are enjoying your snow day. We'll be right back. Oh. Hey guys, welcome back to Fox 5 News Live. We have a lot of pictures in store for us. I want to pull one of those up right now from Putnam County if we can. Let's take a live look, a look out at one of those images. And bringing up Caitlin Pratt to the desk with us. Caitlin, you have been doing some digging. We asked people to send in their photos as we are chasing snow across Georgia.
If we don't have a ruler picture, did it really happen, right?
Absolutely.
If we don't have a ruler picture or a deck photo, yeah, it didn't snow in Georgia. So here we go. This is in Putnam County where our colleague Ray was earlier. He was in Eatonton, and he really looked like he was in a snow globe earlier this morning. Oh my gosh, what a treat to see. And you can see all of the snow that ended up coming down there before it stopped. Julie Duraney Malcolm pulling out the ruler here to check. She says it looks like, according to the ruler here, they got about 1.5 inches. Love to see it. What a pretty picture, especially with those branches on the trees in the background. Oh, wow. All right, so we want to have you pause and listen to what's next because it is just delightfully adorable. Take a listen.
Journey, what is that?
Yeah.
Snow?
Oh.
Ooh.
How adorable.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. How about Journey, her first snow day? She doesn't know what to think, right?
Oh my gosh,
but she
is
likes
so excited.
it, I think she likes it. 18 months old, her first snow day, looking cute as can be.
She
and her
was
little
ready.
puffy jacket, her boots. She is decked out, her hat, all the things, looking at that snow coming down. Thank you so much to Mom Jaleesa Turner sending us this video. We don't need a jacket ourselves because this has just warmed our heart. We don't need any sort of warmth. She is adorable. All right, let's head out to Jones County. Some different kind of babies, fur babies. We do have, yes.
Caitlin, I did not think cats like the snow, so I'm confused.
Funny to see animals out there trying to figure out what is going on. Because think about it, right? We're in Georgia. This doesn't happen a lot.
Yeah. And these guys probably are in the house a lot. Oh my God, Caitlin, look, the snow is on the tail.
Holly, I love to. This is perfect. Like you can see the contrast, black cat, white snow. This is great. Tamara Jones sending us the video of her cat's first snow day. Having fun, running, pouncing. Yes, that's so sweet. And how about this? We do have some other pictures too. This is from Locust Grove. Oh, how did they get that much snow? Listen.
Somebody's cheating.
I don't know. Where did that come from?
They've been holding this since last year.
Wow. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Dusting, right? Enough for her to make this amazing snowman. It looks like she has her little pup in with her too. So cute. And she looks super proud too. We do love to see it. And then we do have final video. And this is just like so calming. We should have this, you know how we have the video and the breaks in Fox Local? This
yes.
totally
with the
be
log.
added.
Yes. Yes.
Some nice music underneath.
You said a snow globe with Ray. This is a snow globe.
Okay,
wow.
and this is from our chief meteorologist, David Chanley, of course, perfectly positioned, panning, letting us see the entire picture. Exactly. Sending this here from the lake earlier this morning. And he was on social media too, posted pictures of himself and his grandkids doing some snowmen. He was just so happy about it. He said because in years past, of course, he'd be working on snow days and didn't get to spend time with his daughter. So now he's spending with his granddaughters and just loving it. Loving it. And of course, beautiful. Alex in the Weather Center holding down the fort, doing such a great job all morning, getting us prepared yesterday too. So I just want to say thank you to everyone who sent us those photos, those videos, gave us permission to share, because it really gives us an idea of what's going outside our doors. And for those of us who didn't get snow, kind of gives us, checks off that box, you know?
Yeah. Is your little one watching by any chance?
I had his dad turn on the TV earlier so he could get his snow dose. Unfortunately, he won't be able to put on his little snow pants today and get out and about. But that's okay.
He can put them on. He just might sweat a little bit out there. Caitlin, thank you so much for pulling these photos. Oh, especially Journey's first snow.
That's
adorable.
memorable moment, right?
Adorable.
Love that.
Thanks to Mom for sending that one in. You guys can still get your photos and videos out to us. All you got to do is email newstipsatlanta@fox.com. You could reach out to us on the Fox 5 Storm Team app, or
And that's where you give your permission, so we can just go.
yeah.
That's the easiest way, probably.
Yes, y'all, you fill out that form. If we still have questions, we'll reach out to you via email, but it's probably the quickest way to get your stuff to us. And then social media. Our digital team is here. We're scanning the DMs, so send us that way as well.
It's your time to shine.
This is an interactive chat, you guys. Caitlin, thank you so much for bringing this to us. We do have to keep the news going. I want to talk to you about what's happening with the Atlanta Falcons. I think we had that video queued up. They have now brought in the 20th head coach in franchise history. We know there has been a shakeup in leadership for the Atlanta Falcons about a week, maybe 2 weeks ago. And so we're still reeling from that as we learned that Stefanski, Kevin Stefanski from the Browns, former coach, will be our new head coach. And before I get into details, what do you guys think about that move? Do you think that he is the key to us being true winners? Is he the one who's going to bring us to the Super Bowl next year? These are the things that I want to know. So Stefanski, if this is your first time hearing his name, he's a two-time Associated Press NFL Coach of the Year. So clearly he's got the stuff. He joins the Falcons after serving as a head coach of the Cleveland Browns and after a long tenure as an assistant to the Minnesota Vikings. He will replace Raheem Morris, who was fired at the end of the season. Unfortunately, leadership thought that maybe he wasn't the right person to bring us to victory, especially after those last couple of seasons that we had. Now, prior to his time in Cleveland, Stefanski spent 14 years on the staff in Minnesota. He rose from assistant to the head coach to offensive coordinator, and during that time, he worked under Brad Childress, Leslie Frazier, Mike Zimmer, just to name a few. So here's what they're saying. This is all coming from Falcons president of football operations, Matt Ryan, who's going to be Stefanski's new boss. He says, and I quote, "In Kevin Stefanski, we have found a coach with the right vision, focus, and demeanor to lead our team into the future. From all our research and a wonderful visit with him tonight, I believe he is the right coach to take the talent on our roster to a new level and to work with Matt, our new GM, and all our football personnel to build on a strong foundation in place and take it to new heights. He has a great plan for himself, and he's learned many things during his stops in Cleveland and Minnesota that have prepared him for this moment." Now, even before the coaching, Stefanski played defensive back at the University of Pennsylvania between 2000 and 2004. He was a two-time All-Ivy League selection and the Quakers Freshman of the Year. Now, he and his wife, Michelle, are both Philadelphia natives, so I hope you're ready to get used to, well, I was going to say the warm, but we were just showing you the snow, so I guess they're used to the cold. They're getting right back into it. They've got 3 lovely children, Juliet, Will, and Gabe. And in this new role, again, Stefanski will report directly to Ryan. So bringing in our 20th head coach in franchise history. Once again, what do you guys think? Was he the right pick? Well, in other Falcons news, the Falcons and a nonprofit have decided to give a Georgia kid the surprise of a lifetime. You're looking at Burke the Brave. He's a kid here in our neck of the woods who will be headed to the college football national championship game in Miami, Florida. Huge opportunity. He's from Sandy Springs. He's known as Burke the Brave because he has weathered the storm in an illness that he has. It hasn't wiped the smile off his face, though. He still believes in miracles and dreams, and this is a dream come true. So the announcement came from Dream on 3. It's a nonprofit that makes sports dreams come true for children who face serious medical challenges. That group surprised Burke and his family by telling him his longtime wish to attend the championship game was finally happening. So they first met him in a hospital. That's where he was undergoing chemotherapy. At the time, they brought him a dream box from some sponsors. But during that time, they got to talk to him, get to know him. That's when they learned that he had a dream of attending a national title game, and they worked real hard to make it happen. So the send-off turned into a full community celebration. You see Freddie Falcon there. You saw some of the Falcon cheerleaders. He will get the ride of a lifetime in a limousine. It'll come equipped with some VIP access once he gets to Miami. There's a lot of things in store for him. He's also going to have a stay at a championship partner hotel. It's a really big deal, you guys. We also know the Sandy Springs Police Department pulled up in full force in order to show their support alongside some neighbors, friends, sponsors, and other local leaders. Organizers say that moments like this one, they're only possible because of the community support, and the turnout, they say, was overwhelming, but in the best way possible. All right, you guys, still ahead. We are going to continue talking about the forecast. We have one more live look outside with our meteorologist, Alex Forbes. He'll give us a better insight on what the day ahead and week ahead will look like. We'll have more on that when we come back. Hey guys, welcome back to Fox 5 News Live. I'm Judea Murray, and I'm so excited that you guys stayed with us throughout the day as we are weathering the storm, learning more about this snow that hit our area just a little bit earlier today. I want to head right out to our meteorologist, Alex Forbes. He's on standby. Alex, it has been a busy day for you as a meteorologist.
Judea, I was telling somebody this a couple days ago. This type of setup, not just winter weather, but the fact that you have the cold air, you have the moisture coming in from the south, it is the biggest nightmare that we deal with. Like, I would take severe weather any day of the week over this, because at least with that forecast, we have a much better idea of what we're walking into. I think we got to that point with this system, particularly yesterday afternoon when we really locked things in, but the days leading up to it, not to mention you add in all the questions on top of it, and rightfully so, right? People want to know if it's going to snow. Well, when I have a yes, but this, and this answer, it's just not the most fun answer in the world. So I'm happy it played out the way that it did. I think our forecast actually panned out very well. I was looking at everybody's reports on Facebook and X and Instagram, and I think if anything, we might just nudge, if I could have gone back and done something about it, I might have nudged that blue line just like a hair south. Not much, but just like a hair south. Other than that, I mean, for this time of year and this type of system, I will take this forecast as a win here. We're looking live down in Lawrence County. This is like 2.5 hours away from Atlanta. This is down in central Georgia in Dublin, and they have snow on the ground. This is one of the last places we've seen snow on the camera here in the last little bit. Temperatures down below freezing there. Notice the roads look mostly okay, but the grassy surfaces, they have snow on the ground. I was just talking with the Chief Meteorologist David Chanley. He's over in Greene County. They saw about 2 inches of snow, it looked like, and he said that it is melting very quickly, so that is the expectation. 38 now in Atlanta, 35 in Alpharetta, 35 up 400 in Cumming, 33 in Canton, and 36 over in Cartersville. How about Blue Ridge? Still down below freezing. So do note that any spot that saw snow today, right? Thomaston, Monroe County, Jones, Baldwin, Putnam, Jasper counties, the temperatures are now above freezing and we're getting the sun to come out. So I would expect that to continue here through the afternoon. We are completely dry now across north and central Georgia. The back edge of the snow is about to actually push through Augusta. The models this morning jumped on board with this almost perfectly. The timing has been impeccable with the exit of the snow from the state of Georgia here happening in relatively short order. So for the remainder of the day today, we're at 38 now in Atlanta. We're only going to get to about 41 this afternoon under bright blue skies, so do expect some melting. But anything that does not melt, we will see a refreeze tonight, 38 by 6 p.m., and I would be on the lookout for temperatures below freezing tomorrow morning. So there's your sunshine now for the afternoon. On into the evening hours, we will be completely quiet across the state. Here's your Fox 5 Storm Team forecast now. Notice no more rain chance today, 41 your high temperature, 45 after a potential refreeze of any wet roadways for tomorrow afternoon. That, of course, is the Martin Luther King holiday. But then we get another surge of some cooler air. Temperatures in the mid-20s to start really Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday mornings after an overnight low of 28 Tuesday morning, only getting to 43, building back in a rain chance for next weekend at about 40%. And with that, Judea, I'm going to go take a nap.
You have earned it. You've earned your keep. You did a great job. I know you said tracking snow, tracking winter weather is much harder than storms. But when I tell you, I'll take my hat off to you. You've done a great job for us today.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I would also add, with the winter weather, one of the things we run into is that line has all the difference in the world. And if this were just rain, that line would not matter. I wouldn't give it a second thought, right? But that's the nature of the beast we're dealing with.
Okay, well, thanks for keeping us up to date. I think the next best thing, other than waiting for our next show, would be to download the Storm Team app and Fox Local app, right?
Yep, both of those.
All right. Alex, thank you so much for your contribution to today's show. Keeping it going, we are still chasing, I'm saying chasing snow, even though it might not be falling out of the sky. We know kids all around are excited getting into all the white stuff. I want to get out to our Eli Jordan, who's on standby. Eli, you have had quite the day as well. Last time we were out chatting with you, at one point we saw the kids on standby. They were throwing snowballs at each other. We heard from a big brother who was taking his siblings out to experience their first snowfall. And then you also spent some time along I-75. Are you still in Forsyth as we speak?
Yes, I am still in Forsyth, Monroe County, and it is a winter wonderland here. The snow is glistening, and it's just, it's a beautiful sight. And I think when we get home, we're all going to be happy tonight because we were walking in a winter wonderland. Yeah, I had to do that, sorry. But I had to put on my sunglasses, too, because when the sun comes out, that light reflects right back up into your face, and it's hard to keep your eyes open on a sunny, snowy day. But it's it started off early this morning. It was dry. There was nothing falling, and then about 6 o'clock, the snow started falling in Locust Grove, and around 9 o'clock, I headed down here to Forsyth, and they had 2 inches. But the roads are nice and beautiful and clear, and no problems, and the scene is beautiful, as you can see behind me, all the snow all over the trees and whatnot. It's just a real lovely sight, but it's starting to melt fast. I can feel the heat of the sun on my back right now, which feels nice, but also too, the snow is falling off these trees and power lines I can see. And I'm going to step away from the camera real quick, just give you guys kind of a look at the scene here. And I'm right here close to I-75 at an access road. And you can see that I-75 is clear, moving just fine, no problems at all whatsoever, despite us having 2 inches of snow down here in Monroe County. But it's a beautiful sight. Roads are clear, no problems at all. I've seen the salt trucks, brine trucks monitoring, making sure everything's going good, and they've done well. Even the surface streets are doing well. So it looks like it's been a heck of a snow day without any problems with travel, which is great, because I believe Georgia learned in 2014 to get ahead of the storm and not wait for it to happen, because that was a bad time there. But also too, I want to give a shout out to Alex and Caitlin and Mark Teichner and Ray and Steven, the photographer, and Jim Zorn, Mark's photographer, and Suzanne Gunn and the other producers that came in, and also to you, Judea. It's been a heck of a snow day, and it turned out quite nice here in South Georgia. Too bad Atlanta didn't get any, but they've gotten some down here in Monroe County and Forsyth, and it's been a nice day, and I'm looking forward to going home and warming up and getting some rest with my kitty cat. Judea?
Oh, Eli, that was the perfect end to your hit. One question for you. How early do you think you got up this morning to start covering this? Because you were out there very early.
You know, I'm weird. I woke up at 1:30 and I couldn't get back to sleep.
Wow.
I was like monitoring. I was like, all right, it's after midnight. Let's see. And looked at the radar, and I even texted my mom, and I said, I don't think it's going to snow. We ain't going to snow. But that's why I'm not a meteorologist, because I was way wrong. It did. I didn't know how to read a radar right, so. I wasn't counting on this back end having more moisture behind it, and but yeah, I got up early, and you know, it's kind of an exciting time, even though it's a lot of work going out and covering snow for the news. I used to love snow days while I was in school, but when I started shooting news,
you're like, ooh,
I don't like snow days so much. But you know, then you get used to it. You know, you just you learn how to handle it and deal with the cold, and you know, bring the pictures as best as you can to our viewers, and enjoy it, and to let them know what any precautions they need to do. And but it beats tornadoes, and I know Alex says he'd rather cover severe weather, but I think I'd rather cover snow than severe weather, because rain and equipment is a lot more tough to handle than just a little bit of snow and equipment.
That's valid.
Not quite as wet out here.
That is valid. Everybody has their opinions. Eli, you gave a couple of shout outs, and I also thought of a couple of more people too. Want to give a quick one to our Chase Allen, who's on the assignment desk, Dexter Andrews, Chris Booth, also to Eddie, oh Lord, I am forgetting Eddie's last name.
I shouldn't have named names, because we're going to leave some.
Yeah, you forget somebody and then it's a problem, but just there were a lot of, what you were getting at and what I'm getting at, a lot of hands on deck
We've done great,
to make this happen. Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. It's been a solid coverage.
Yeah.
For sure.
Eli, thank you for your contributions. Get inside, get that nap, tell your kitty I said hello. All right, you guys, like I said, it's been a busy day. I want to talk to you about some hyper local headlines. Here were things that affected our area that had nothing to do with the weather. Starting out on I-20, the eastbound lanes were shut down because we heard of a wreck in which one person lost their lives. Now, earlier this morning, we know that this happened at Evans Mill Road out on I-20. When we got out to the scene, we couldn't see any of the vehicles, whether there was more than one involved, but we could see the first responders who were out there at the scene. The roadway was expected to remain closed for a period of time while our first responders got out there, assessed the scene. Unfortunately, they did come back to us here at Fox 5 Atlanta to let us know that one person did lose their life in that wreck. When we learn more information about it, you can expect to see some more right here on Fox Local. I also want to talk to you about a former DeKalb superintendent who we've gotten some more information about, I would say within the last 2 hours. We heard that the former DeKalb County School Superintendent, Devon Horton, is facing charges here in Georgia for allegedly assaulting his wife, and officials say it was in front of children, so he's also facing some child cruelty charges. According to the DeKalb County Jail records, Horton was booked into the facility at around 1:30 p.m. yesterday. Again, he was arrested on aggravated assault charges, strangulation, and third-degree cruelty to children. Police say that they got out to his home on Saturday following a domestic call. And when they got there, there was a verbal dispute that turned into a physical altercation, resulting in the charges that he's facing. According to police, children were present when that assault occurred, so he is still in the jail according to records. I also want to talk to you about a silent protest that took place in Atlanta over the weekend. This was a vigil for the woman Renee Good, who was killed in Minneapolis by an ICE agent. So you've probably heard her name just about everywhere. You've probably seen her face. We also know that that vigil was held to counteract the U.S. military actions in Venezuela. So how this worked, because even though it was a protest, it's a little different than what you might be seeing in your brain. These people were out there in a Quaker-style worship format. They focused on peaceful reflection rather than chanting or marching through the streets or, yelling. It was dozens of people that took some time out to gather at Freedom Park here in Atlanta for a silent worship rally. Again, they were protesting some of the actions of the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement against Renee Good. We know she was shot to death in a car. And we also know that they were protesting U.S. military activity abroad. This event was organized by the American Friends Service Committee. It was a quiet departure from what you might think of when you hear anti-ICE protests that are typically high tensions. We've seen quite a few of them in other cities. So again, instead of chanting and marching, these demonstrators, they stood in silence. They were there to honor the memory of Renee Good, the 37-year-old woman, a mother, a U.S. citizen who was fatally shot by an ICE agent in Minneapolis on January 7th. We know that in Atlanta, the silent vigil concluded without incident. Organizers do say they plan to continue their quote-unquote weekend of action. We actually know that this will probably last about a week through the upcoming Martin Luther King Jr. holiday. So keep an eye out for that. Also want to give you some information if you've got any travel planned in the near future. As of February 1st, you may have to pay a little extra because flying soon could cost you a little extra money if you don't follow the rules. The Real ID deadline is here, February 1st. The TSA says that if you show up at the airport without a Real ID or any other form of acceptable ID, it's going to cost you some extra money. The Real ID is a more secure version of your driver's license or state ID. It came from the 9/11 Commission recommendation and was signed into law back in 2005. But there were multiple delays. That's why you haven't really heard much about it until, well, really now. So here's why you should care. Starting February 1st, if you don't have that Real ID, that passport or another approved form of ID, which I'll get into in a second, you're going to have to use TSA's new system called Confirm ID. And that's going to cost you $45 to use. And it's only for a 10-day travel window, plus extra wait time. So if you have a third trip outside of that 10-day window, you're going to have to do this again. You can pay that $45 fee online before the start of your trip, or you can go to most airport checkpoints, but either way, it's probably going to make you wait in line longer than you were hoping for. So if you want to avoid all of this, here's what counts as an acceptable form of ID. Of course, the Real ID, which, by the way, has a star logo on it or another symbol. A passport is also an acceptable form of ID, a passport card, global entry, or some other trusted traveler cards, DoD IDs, permanent resident cards, tribal IDs, foreign passports, and then there are a couple of other options. You can learn more about them on the official government website. And the easiest check of all, like I mentioned before, is you could potentially already be holding a Real ID in your wallet right now as we speak. Pull it out, take a look at it. Does it have that star or that special symbol in the top corner? Because if it does, you're good. And if you know for a fact that you have a valid Georgia license, you're probably also good. You may not have anything to worry about. So check your ID now so you don't have to pay extra money. You don't have to wait in line a lot longer. We do have an article all about this and the changes coming at the airport on our website, fox5atlanta.com. You could also look it up right here in the Fox local app. We made it easy for you. still ahead. We want to take a look at some of the images that you have been sending in to us. I know you guys have been having so much fun out in the snow, and I wish I could have joined you, but I was here at the desk. But I'm living vicariously through you, and I'll also tell you how you can continue to send in those photos and those videos if you want to see them on Fox 5 Atlanta a little later on today. We'll have more on that when we come back. Hey guys, welcome back to Fox 5 News Live. I'm Judea Murray. I'm taking a look now, as you know that this is an interactive news conversation. So when you guys have questions, you have comments, I see them in real time and I'm able to react to them. So looking back through some of the stories that really stuck with you, I know everybody wanted to know about the weather. We had a lot of people weighing in on the snow, and some of you don't even live here in Georgia, which was really interesting. We had somebody coming all the way out from, I think it was South Africa, Cape Town, South Africa. She was like, wow, it's snowing out there. We're on a bench sunbathing or suntanning or something like that. Must be nice. Lately, we got somebody, Crystal222, saying, I bet the Falcons win 4 games. That was in response to the new head coach that we've gotten. That's a shame, Crystal. You have 222 angel numbers in your name and you don't have more faith than that. I think we're not going to do worse than we did this year. At least 8 wins. At least. I think some more than that. Let me look what else. We had a live interview about the Lock Expo that is happening now at the Loudermilk Conference Center in Atlanta, and people wanted to know when that event was. I mean, it is today. It doesn't end until 5 p.m. So if you'd still like to get out there, they do say those tickets are still available for you. And heads up, they do have some free giveaways. They also have some classes, whether you want to learn how to do your hair, your baby's hair. It is a full event all about celebrating the culture, the beauty of Blackness, and focusing on hair, but also focusing on the culture itself. Let's see, we also had somebody, Kylie, joining us from California. I'm sorry, she says, that's what I love about California. In the summer, you go to the beach, and in the winter, play in the snow. So another viewer from Nebraska. Let's see. I just wanted to make sure I shouted out all of the areas that I saw on here. Then, of course, a couple of you guys are being silly, so it's a little harder to scroll through. But we have been live on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. Great way for you guys to join in the conversation. And one of the things that I asked you to do was to send us pictures, send us videos, if you had a chance to get outside and see some snow around you. And you guys did that. So let's start on Thomaston. Got this video from a viewer that shows the snow coming down. This was probably around 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning, right when Good Day Atlanta was still on the air. Our viewer Rick Pullman took this video. You can see the flurries really coming down out there in Thomaston. Shout out to Griffin. Fox 5 viewer Nicholas Rain sent us some video from his area. You can also see the snow coming down pretty good there as well, but it didn't appear to be sticking to the roads, which when we were talking to our photojournalists who were out on the scene, they said the same thing. The snow was coming down in their areas. We still saw it out there in Forsyth with our Eli Jordan, but it seemed to be that the roads were fairly clear. Let's check out Columbus, Georgia. Again, snow coming down while it was still dark outside. This viewer, Gabriella Stroop, sent us some images from her home, but it looks like she shot it from inside, and I don't blame you. It was probably warm and toasty in there, and I know it was cold, cold, cold outside. Out in Pike County, Mark Blackstock sent us this photo. You can see the snow really starting to accumulate there on his deck. And according to our meteorologist, we also heard this from Caitlin Pratt, that tends to be the best place to really measure snow because it's even. The flooring, well, it should be. The flooring on your deck should be even. So if you brought out a ruler to check the snow levels out there, you probably had a good reading about how much fell in your area. Want to get out to Meriwether County. Shout out to Jeff and Julie who sent us some photos from Woodbury, also showing their back deck. But also, let me take this banner down because you can see their little fur baby enjoying the snow as well. Their little furry friends seem to be having a great time watching that snowfall. And across state lines out in Alabama, where we know snow really began, and that's how we know it was going to hit our area eventually. We have some video from Pell City, Alabama, from George Weaver. Thank you, George, for reaching out to us. You can see it really coming down in that area. It was sticking there and seemingly accumulating. Now I want to check if we have this from Monticello out in Jasper County. We do, you guys. Brandy sent us this video from Monticello. Her yard seemed to be picking up a lot of snow. Even look at the planter there, that planting box. I really love the way snow looks on trees. I think it is the most gorgeous thing in the world. And I want to skip ahead. I know recently we got in some video from a little girl spending her first snow outside. I want to see if we can play that one for you guys because this warmed my heart.
Journey, what is that?
Yeah.
Snow?
Oh.
Ooh.
18-month-old Journey's first snow day, and obviously she was excited, but also look at her little outfit there. So I'm assuming because you live in Georgia, maybe you weren't ready for the snow suits, but she has on her little sweatpants, her boots, her hat, her puffy coat. She seems to be so excited to be out there, and I want to give a quick shout out to Mom, who is the one who submitted this video into us. Look at her cheeks. She's so cute. She's so cute. Jaleesa Turner sent us this video. Jaleesa, thank you so much for sharing your adorable baby with us here on Fox 5 Atlanta and Fox 5 News Live. This did it for me. And then we also have a video of another little furry friend enjoying their first snow. Let's check out this Jones County cats. Yes, doing the pouncing, all of the pouncing. And give it a second. Look at its tail. The tail on this cat covered in snow. Tamara Jones sent us this video of her cat's very first snow day. Seems to be having so much fun running around and pouncing in the snow. Probably hasn't seen anything like this out in Jones County. If your animal stays inside too, your pet, your fur baby, your best friend, this is quite the time to get out there. So just want to remind you that if you would like to see one of your videos or some of your pictures here on Fox 5 Atlanta, the best thing to do is to reach out to us via email. That is newstipsatlanta@fox.com. You would send us the photo, the video, and a little description of where we are seeing this from. Also, another thing that you can do is reach out to us on social media. You could also find us on the Fox 5 Storm Team app. Submit your photo there, and that actually is probably the easiest way because there's a form that you would submit. And then if we have any other questions, we may reach back out to you in order to get some more insight whether or not we are able to use that image. But real quick before our time is up, I see we only have a couple of minutes left. I want to talk to you about the Atlanta Falcons, who have hired the 20th head coach in franchise history. You're looking at him there. That is Kevin Stefanski, who used to be the Browns coach. He is now the Atlanta Falcons' new head coach. He'll be replacing Raheem Morris. We're also still looking for a general manager. So I've been asking you guys who you think could be a good general manager for us, who would lead us to the promised land. I don't think that I've seen anybody weigh in just yet, but I do know on social media, especially Instagram, there are quite a few people who were for Stefanski. There were quite a few people who were not for him. So continue to weigh in on our social media platforms. We'd love to hear from you. Can tell you, though, that Stefanski finished his tenure in Cleveland with an overall record of 45-56. He led the Browns to the postseason twice, reaching the playoffs in 2020 and 2023. So maybe he has the magic sauce. I don't know, you guys. I know that he brought himself and his wife Michelle, both Philadelphia natives, down here to Atlanta to enjoy this opportunity. They have 3 children who I hope are enjoying the snow if they've gotten their full move out the way. Juliet, Will, and Gabe. We know that Stefanski also played defensive back at the University of Pennsylvania from 2000 to 2004, so he's not just knowing about the administrative part about football. He's also been on the field, the gridiron himself. So we'll keep an eye out on how this goes. I remember I told you, somebody said that we would probably only win 4 games this season, but you gotta have more faith than that. Have more faith in our new head coach. Looking forward to seeing what he does, and I know our sports team will be keeping up with them throughout the summer and even spring training camp. This will be really interesting to see how the next season goes and whether or not we are Super Bowl bound. Fingers crossed. A girl can only dream. Thank you guys for joining me here on Fox 5 News Live for this interactive news conversation. I have enjoyed keeping up with y'all in all our live chats. We'll have more news coming up for you, so don't go anywhere, and more content after this. Thanks, guys.